Yes.
However, I might change that at some point, just because it's fewer steps. Hello, everyone. I think we're live. We're going live. Oh, now I need to stretch.
Oh dear. Professional streamers.
Professional. Now would be a good time to insert ads. We've just started. All right. And chat. There we go. Hello. Right. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? We're back. We are back. Back we are. Yes.
Tell a friend.
Did you sugar my coffee?
Yes.
Cool. Yes. Sorry, I realised your joke there. Back again. All right. You were sneezing, not. I thought you were gonna grimace at me for being slow on the joke or something.
No, I was very slowly building up to a sneeze.
That made a lot more noise than I intended to. You want to be careful, otherwise there's going to be an emoji in the Discord later of you going. You know. Anyway, right. Hello. How are we doing? How was Monaco?
I still don't understand.
But how was it good though?
Yes, absolutely.
There we go. That'll do. I also don't know the origin of it. At some point, someone just inferred that the wedding that you were attending was in Monaco, and I was like, that wouldn't be off-brand for Caradog, so sure, why not? Let's just assume that he's in Monaco.
Interesting little factoid for you about Monaco.
Yeah.
None of the properties are allowed to be rented for holiday rentals.
Makes sense.
The only rooms that are available for accommodation are the hotels that have been there for years and years and years. Therefore, effectively, the hotels have a monopoly. The solution to this is that, I don't know if people know the geography specifically, but you've got Monaco as the existence, and then you have City here that is not Monaco, but has lots of flats.
Yeah.
So there's lots of Airbnb.
I was just going to say,
and taxis.
Yeah, I was going to say, I assume there must be just like a 5-mile border around Monaco of no one actually lives in any of these. They're all Airbnbs.
Kind of, I'd imagine.
In a way, it doesn't surprise me because there are a lot of places where all the houses being empty and just being Airbnb'd is actually a serious problem, and it just means that
yes, but also all of the houses are empty anyway in Monaco because they're owned by people who own 17 other houses.
I was going to say, even though you can't rent a house, the kind of people who go to Monaco are also the kind of people who probably just buy a house in Monaco.
Yes.
So yeah, that doesn't surprise me either.
Well then. Luckily, there's no capture card. Managed to somehow pull the monitors off the desk as well.
Okay, there we go. Caradog owns a Monaco hotel. There you go. That's how we did it. Right.
I will say, Grand Central Plaza.
Is that a place? Is that a place in Monaco?
Yes.
Okay. I wouldn't know. I don't watch the F1, so.
Or live there.
Because Monaco's a track, I assume. So. I am joking, just for posterity.
Oh.
Yes, I have a house or two in Monaco. Anyway, right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are back. Back we are. Yes, I was camping and I got burnt to a cinder. The sun is a deadly laser, Caradog. Yes, that's about what happened. So yes, I think I'm looking better. Yeah, I'm definitely looking better today.
From the front.
Yes. Oh, is it still horrifying around the back? Yeah. I'm constantly having to be like,
my skin.
Yeah. However, yeah.
This dust.
My nose got mega boiled. It was horrendous. Never been so burnt in my life. So yeah.
To the point it actually gave you a scab.
Yes.
That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. However, yeah. So I went camping. Went camping in Newquay, Wales. On Sunday morning, we got up early and we walked the 20-minute walk from the campsite to Newquay to go on a boating trip. And it was basically a tourist boat out to go spotting for dolphins and seals, because there are dolphins and seals in Newquay. When we left, it was overcast and trying to drizzle. So we were just like, weatherman was wrong. Gear up for rain, basically, because it looks like we were genuinely going to get rained on, and like it was a little bit drizzly as we were walking in, and then like while we were out on the boat, it started clearing up, and the moment we stepped off of the boat, it was just blazing sunshine, and we're standing there holding our coats and everything. We're like, well, that's now happened, and just so we were out in the sun with no sun gear, basically. So yeah. So yes. So that was it. So yes, I got sunburned. That's the story of how I got sunburned.
The burning.
Yes.
By the sun.
Indeed. But the point is, loads of people were just like, "Oh, you should have worn sunscreen." I'm just like, it wasn't sunny when we left, okay? And when you're walking, there's only so much you can carry. Anyway. So, anyway, I went on holiday. I had a jolly nice time.
Absolutely.
That is all.
Yes.
So, yes.
I uploaded my first video to YouTube.
Yes, I saw that go up because when I spotted it, because I was getting notifications of comments, and I was just like, I was like, oh, Caradog posted a video. Oh, yeah, good job, because I forgot to do the video saying there would be no podcast. I was happy that you took the initiative and did the video.
Yes. I was
just like, hi, it's me, Caradog, the other guy. You know? So,
it's not who you expect.
Yeah.
It's me.
So yes, right. But yes, we are returned. So today, things to do. Firstly, there is cider. This cider has been sitting around for a couple of weeks. I don't think that I'm 99% certain there was not a name attached to this. So whoever sent in more Hogans, thank you very much. We should probably break this open and have a nosy and just be like, oh yes, and also hope that the sea salt one isn't in there. So,
oh no, it's a box of sea salt.
Get the knife. Let's just make sure, because there's a possibility that this is just an ungift. You know. Let's just make sure that we're not being had here and that this is not actually an ungift. And then I have to very awkwardly be like, oh, I'll try and drink these.
Say, Frienderino.
Just going to check for... yes, no, there is no private information on there. I just wanted to immediately turn that away from the camera just in case.
Oh, it's a pamphlet.
Yes, but also it has the message on.
Thanks very much for your order.
What, you ordered it?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
However,
yes.
It was ordered in my name.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah. For a moment, I was really confused because when it originally arrived and it was addressed to you, I mentioned it to you. I was just like, oh yeah, also a box of cider with your name showed up on it. And you're like, oh, cool. In such a way that inferred that you had not ordered it and it was a gift. And then for a moment, I was just like, wait, did you? Then why are we opening it like it's a viewer gift when it's just something that you ordered?
It is not. However, it was apparently ordered in my name.
I see. Well, thanks to Rick at Hogan Cider for packing this. And thank you to whoever it was that actually sent it in. So, what do we got here? We've got some wild elder. Oh, wow.
And some sea salt.
Rich and spicy mulled. Did we have that one?
Oh.
Warming, please serve me hot. Mulled cider. That sounds cool.
Excellent.
Mulled...
Slightly unsummery.
Yeah.
However, delightful.
Might be worth just sticking that on the shelf until the cold weather comes. Just because, like, that should be
so
served
next
hot.
week.
Yeah. However, mulled cider... I've had 2 experiences with mulled cider. One of them was just awful, and I was like, this is crap. And the other one was, this is really nice.
Yes.
And because we know that Hogan's is actually good stuff, this should theoretically be really nice. So I'm quite excited about that, actually.
And in little surprise, the reason why it's called Hogan is because it's from a person called Hogan.
I see.
Yes. Cheers to you all. Enjoy. Alan Hogan.
Alan!
Ow!
And also we've got the Lonely Partridge Perry.
So, good. Yeah. Perry.
Did we have that one before? We had our Perry, but I don't remember Lonely Partridge.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely had the Wild Elder, but I think these 2 are both new. I don't think we've had either of those. So yeah. Good.
Oh, right. Malvern. I just realised it's from Malvern.
Malvern.
Which is where some of my family is from.
Oh, rad. Yeah, I see. I also see that these are actually boxes as well.
These are also boxes of wine.
Oh, I didn't. I thought they might have a couple of bottles in them or something. I don't know.
No. It was more of the fact it was like, oh yes, this is a box of wine. Wait, cider.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how best to heat that one. I guess we'd have to decant it into something and into a pan and just stick it on a stove or something.
Yeah, microwave a plastic glass.
Air fry it. Yeah. I mean, technically, it's no different to putting it in an oven. You could stick a pot of water in an oven and it'll get hot, right? There's nothing stopping us from air frying cider.
I air fried my GPU in cider. You won't guess what happens.
So yeah. We'll bring the
best before 2024, so it'll sit in the box for Christmas.
There, yeah. We'll put that to one side. And then we'll have a I'll bring in the I'll bring in the camping stove. And we'll have just a saucepan, a camping stove, and mulled cider. It'll be great.
And a clove and a lemon.
Yeah.
And an orange. And
yeah, I'm into it. I'm down for that. It'll be great.
Some LED lights in RGB-ness.
Yeah. They mean hot or room temperature? They mean hot. It's just like mulled wine. You serve mulled wine
also
hot.
Not... Yes, like hot as in like, drinkable.
Yeah, drinking temperature. So like hot like hot chocolate kind of thing. But yeah. I'm very partial to mulled wine in the appropriate season.
Yes, absolutely.
And
you
as
buy
I say,
the cheapest bottles of red wine you can find, and then
mulling kit.
And you chuck in a whole bunch of stuff into your slow cooker, and you leave it there for like 8 hours. Add some lemonade.
Huh. I've not had it that way before.
And then about 40 kilos of sugar.
Yeah, I've not had it.
But yeah, no, we make like, I don't know, 10, 12 litres of the stuff for when we're doing an event at Christmas.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I've had, my nan used to do mulled wine where she would just put a bottle of plonk in the saucepan and just a mulled wine spice sachet kit, basically, and just lob that in there. Although I think at some point she used to she used to add it all by hand, but certainly then she just started buying a kit because it's easier. But then also I went through a phase a couple of Christmases ago where Aldi had
pre-made bottles.
Yeah, pre-made bottles, and it was called.
Oh no! It was Glühwein. They had bottles of Glühwein.
That was the one. Yeah.
Which is not mulled wine, but it is a German spiced wine.
Yes,
it is not mulled wine.
Yeah. However, it is a spiced wine designed for Christmas season.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's basically mulled wine. Yeah. it's fundamentally the same. But yeah, that's really nice. That stuff. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Galoogie. Galoogie.
Aldi, not Aldi. Yeah, Aldi. Well, when you're in the south, you have to say Aldi.
And then you drive around your Aldi. I'm going to Aldi in my Aldi.
Thanks for the cider, anonymous benefactor. Much appreciated. If you wish to make yourself known, do so. Otherwise, if you wish to remain anonymous, you have our thanks. So, yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about the Perry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The Wild Elder, I seem to remember that was nice. I
like that one.
Yeah, like I don't I'm neutral toward elderflower.
I'm going to put it up there.
Stick it on the top shelf for now. We need to have a sort out. I'll rephrase that. I need to have a sort out. Also, I need to tidy up the shelf.
I need to tidy up my shop.
Yeah. Yeah, I can take or leave elderflower. However, I do remember liking that one. But the Lonely Partridge, I'm quite excited about that. So yeah.
It's the RGB sign.
Oh yeah, the instructions for it. Yeah.
Ah.
That belongs with that. Yeah. Right.
Found it. The parts for my things.
Yes. All right. So, moving on to tech. What can you break today? Well, we'll see how we go. So we've got the Der Bauer delidding kit. So
in some degree of completeness.
Yes.
There's a shelf in the way there.
So tell me what you've bought, because you bought this.
I have purchased a debauer delidding kit. There are several. This one should, in theory, be compatible with everything from 3rd to 9th gen Intel.
Okay.
Which means it should be compatible with basically all of the stuff we're somewhat interested in.
Okay.
In theory. And I bought it secondhand off of eBay. Because it was like 20 quid off of eBay.
Oh,
or
fair
like
enough.
80 euros.
Yeah.
New. Because importing stuff from Germany is weirdly expensive.
Yeah, like because you mentioned to me that you were buying a delidding kit, but when it showed up and it was a Der Bauer one, I was like, oh, hello, that probably wasn't cheap. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's a large commitment, but yeah, secondhand off eBay, that sounds a lot more agreeable. Bless you.
Indeed.
So yes, and why would one want to delid a CPU? Because between the CPU die and the integrated heat spreader, the metal cap over the top of it, there is more thermal paste, which is usually awful and ages worse. And so whenever you're trying to do extreme overclocking on older stuff, like we've tried to do extreme overclocking on older gen Intel before, and we generally just hit a wall of the in the IHS thermal interface being crap, where the CPU was burning up and the top of the IHS was ice cold, and we just couldn't get heat out of the chip. We had the cooling capacity, just not the transfer. So delidding is the solution to that, because you can either replace the thermal paste with high performance stuff, or you can go direct die. Direct die is king, but requires exotic mounting. Are we planning on trying direct die, or are we just replacing?
At some point, I probably will do, just because there are obviously frames and mounts and
stuff you
can buy.
Yeah, all you really need to do direct die is basically a frame or a shim, because when you go direct die, the danger is that you crush the core, which is one of the original reasons why integrated heat spreaders became a thing, was partly just to spread the heat out a bit more, but more importantly, it basically meant that you couldn't chip the die on the CPU. Yeah, like interestingly, we might have a very interesting example of this over here, because if my memory serves me,
somewhere over here I have.
Oh, it's screwed down.
Oh,
this is from that old Vianley, and this is an old Athlon, and this is from the day. This predates IHS's, and also I think this has a shim on it, so you can just see what that actually looks like. I'll go and grab the bench cam in a sec. This cooler was nuts. I just what even with this thing?
I love how just ridiculous it is.
Heck.
I will look up instructions before actually tightening anything, but I'm just placing items in items and being like,
I see. Okay. This is probably not worth the amount of hassle I'm going to. However, it gives interesting stuff for people to look at. I'll get the bench cam in a minute so you actually get some close-ups. Hello, Paul Daniels. How you doing? Hello, delidders.
I'm intrigued by this. So just like, okay.
Maybe it's for pressing down the IHS again or something?
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
No, I lied. There's no shim here. I had it in my head this was shimmed for some reason or other.
But no, it is just a die.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Oh, well. Yeah. I'll get the camera anyway, just because then it shows... like, obviously, the die on this is really small by modern standards, but it shows you what stuff used to look like. All the oldies in the chat will know what to expect, but that's it. I'm not saying that we're old, because there are certainly older folks in the chat than us. However, we've been in this game long enough that things are very different to how they were when we started. Let's see. What side do we want this on? I'll put this on my side for a sec. We can always move it. I'm going to stand in the way for a moment. Stand by, everyone. I will move out the way presently.
Red October, standing by. Oh! Oh!
Yes?
I think this is a direct die frame. I think this might be a direct die frame.
Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, that looks like that's a
because that's the
that's
a 1150 X.
That's an ILM frame.
Mounting.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
And then that would go.
Oh, that's rad! If we got a direct die kit. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Let me get the camera on all of this, because also that way other people can also confirm. Yes, that is indeed what you think it is. Yeah, JD's already confirmed that. So
yeah.
Have we got a motherboard to put any of these CPUs in at the moment?
Where is the...
We've got the Sabertooth.
Where is the Sabertooth?
Sabertooth is in there.
Yeah, and where is the Gigabyte? The Gigabyte's there, isn't it?
Yeah,
is that 4th gen?
Yeah, no.
Where's
the 4th gen.
Oh, it's there.
4th gen is there, yeah.
Yeah, we've got those two.
Yeah, that's
And then
cool.
we've got the MSI Max Power that Si's bringing with him.
Oh yeah, that's coming soon, yeah. So possibly, today might just be a dry run for that then, because I think...
I was just going to play around with this.
Yeah, because I think we're mostly power limited on everything, but I think what would be useful is to play around with this and also just to start up the freezer, because we still don't actually know if the freezer works at the moment. We've no reason to believe it doesn't, but we haven't used it since the last time we were streaming with it.
Oh,
when it hydrolocked.
Yeah.
We haven't run it since then.
I could have sworn we had, but no, we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't.
So it's one of the reasons why I titled this stream Delidding and not Extreme Overclocking, because in the back of my brain, I was just like, we don't actually know if the freezer still works.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. All right. It went brr. It sure did. Flashbacks. Anyway,
I wasn't even in there.
Let's see. So, bench cam with face. All right, that's something. Yeah, InstaBench. Insta360 link. What on earth am I capturing there?
I think you've captured the capture.
I have. There we go.
I love the little wake up thing where it's just like.
Okay, right. Oh, do I have the Insta360? Oh, good. I did install it.
Yes.
Getting before temps from CPU. We'll have to. Yeah, we'll need to do all the things. This is going to be a bit of a slow. This is going to be a bit of a slow and meandering stream, by the way. People.
Also, this CPU is an i3 2100 or something like that. I am not precious about it.
Yes. Is that just come out of the box?
It's come out of here. It's an i3 that's 2nd gen.
Yeah. Okay.
I will freely upgrade anyone to 4th gen.
Yeah, if anyone gets angry about us butchering some of these CPUs, I don't care. It's worthless. So yes. Okay, right. Thinking. Right, autofocus is on. Rotate camera. Right. Right, let's align that with the table grain.
Fair enough.
There we go. Right, okay. Okay, so for posterity, here's that AMD Athlon that we had kicking around. I thought this was shimmed, this CPU. So you can see where it has these little stoppers in the corners. Again, that's there to help make sure that you can't crush the core. That paste is still goopy. So it stops you from chipping the core. Chipping the core was kind of rare back in the days, but everyone lived in fear of it.
The number of forum posts, though, of people who've done it.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I never saw those on forums that I frequented.
Yeah.
But then I was only really active on like a forum. I probably mentioned it here before, but I was very active on the custompcs.co.uk.
Custom with a K.
Yeah. Custom PCs, custom with a K forum. I was very hot on that I was very active on that forum back in the day. So yeah, no idea if the forums are still going. So yeah, man, it'd be, don't know. This is one of those times where a part of me is just waiting for someone in the chat to be like, used to be big on there as well, I'm so-and-so. I'd be like, it's you! Or something, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing for me. Just like if, anyone who was on the Micromart forums.
Yeah,
because
or Hexus or something.
Because I spent, 9 years of my life on there every single day, kind of thing. So it's just like,
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't see it much on the custom PCs forums, but certainly I always lived in fear of it. So yeah, it's got these little stoppers around the corners to stop you from crushing the core, and a shim is basically just a square frame that goes around the outside. So this metal one is fairly big and chunky because it's for modern Intel, but effectively, it goes around the inside. It provides a little gap, so then that would sit completely flush. So the top of the die is exactly flush with the top of the shim, and therefore you could put down your cooler to as tight as you want to go, and you will never crush the core because you can only go as low as the shim allows. And that basically means that you're now immune to a crushed core. And this would be especially dangerous with something like the freezer, because the freezer we've got has no stops on it. You've got 4 screws, and you just turn them as tight as you dare, basically.
Yeah, and there is no mounting pretty for it. So yeah.
So yeah. Yes. Anyway,
but it's also the case of what this does is it replaces the
ILM.
The actual hold down, the ILM, and obviously that's part of what the contact frame is.
Yeah.
To a degree, very similar in idea to what the contact frame is for 12th and 13th gen.
Yes.
Is that, but is designed to function with the integrated heat spreader still on there. This is designed to do the same thing, but without the heat spreader.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Ooh. Okay, so let's put this out of the way.
Absolutely.
And do you want to show what parts you've identified there? And
yes, I think I've worked out some of the bits.
So what did you say this was again?
That's i3 2100, which I don't think is compatible.
No, I don't think we've got a board for that. No. However, we can do a dry run of just taking scraping the lid off.
That was my plan,
and
basically.
Just see how it feels, and if it feels good, we can be like, cool, let's knock off. That's got a 47.
We've got like a 4100.
Oh, have we? Okay, cool.
Like
so we can do a suicide run on something worthless that we can actually power up then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you start fiddling with this, I'm going to put that to one side. We'll look at this, take the motherboard out of this, and set up a test rig then, and then we can power something up, or we can grab this saber tooth. The saber tooth is going to be easier to get to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. If we actually want to, I think that's probably a better overclocker, the Gigabyte.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
again,
we're not interested. We're not looking for big numbers today. We're just
absolutely. Yeah, as JD says, shouldn't be compatible officially, but should be okay.
Yeah, cool.
But yes, what as far as I'm aware, I've worked out is these parts. Oh, you have zoomed in.
Yes. It's not mirrored, dude. Figure it out. You know.
I expected it to be, which completely threw me.
I'm gonna sit behind the microphone stand.
So we've got this bit that is the frame, which will basically hold a CPU without this bit on there into a socket.
So you know, on an Intel board, you've got the flap that lifts up, and then you close the flap over the top, and you close the locking lever. This replaces that entire assembly, the ILM.
And then this is the actual, effectively the frame that will do the holding of the CPU. And in there, it's just got a cutout in there, which if I angle it like that, there we go, you can actually see it.
Yeah.
This bit here, the CPU sits in there and that holds it in place. And then you've got that arrow there, and I presume this arrow on the CPU here, which I presume will then just go in like that. And then this bit has on there we go, on there a bit to hold this side here, and that just slides in like that.
And basically, it's just going to push the lid sideways and shear the glue that's holding it down.
And then that you tighten that up, it will nudge that in.
Yeah.
I presume, based on the instruction, I want to look up the instructions to find out exactly what the process is, but I presume you do it a bit in one way until it seems like it's given a little. You rotate 180 degrees, stick it in, go until it gives a little.
Yeah.
Rotate it 180 degrees.
Yeah, that
gives
makes
a
sense.
little. But yes.
Yeah. Well, it says, I've got the Universal Delidder by famous brand, chisel and hammer. Comes with extra accessories, vise and anvil. Yeah, I've only tried to delid once. I used a Stanley blade. It did not go well. I did manage to delid it. The CPU did not survive the process, but also, yeah, I cocked it up. So, he's doing it. He's doing it. Are you just?
I think
are
that
you full sending?
I think that's all it took.
Did it go tight and then come loose or something?
And then it became ever so slightly looser.
Interesting.
So I'm presuming that was it.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yep. We just did. Caradog just went full send. Let's see if we have delidded an i3 2100.
I doubt we've actually delidded it, but I'm just wondering if we can tell that it moved.
Yeah. The theory is that if it's now just loosened enough that you can now just nudge it off.
Yeah. No, I do think it did move ever so slightly. So yeah.
All right.
That's cool. Could you have a look at the website?
Right, I tell you what, we'll swap places. You can look up the reference manuals. I'm going to grab the Sabertooth out of that box up there, and then we've got a motherboard that we can actually start dropping other CPUs into as well, and start modelling up the rest of this.
I will decrease the space taken up. What?
That's a terrible place to put a mug.
Also, your notification names.
I will apologise for nothing. And I will provide no context.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm saddened that if you search for DeBauer, the first search suggestion is girlfriend.
Oh. What, as in, who is DeBauer's girlfriend, or is it something else?
Yeah, but just like, ugh.
Gross, yeah.
DeBauer tool for delidding diamate. Yes, that's the one. But that's Amazon. Denies the cookies.
I mean, does DeBauer just have, you know, a website with his products on it?
Yeah. But that I just wasn't sure what the product was called, so I was just like, DeBauer delidding tools.
Yes.
Delidding tools.
I see, yeah, you needed to identify
because
what you
there's
had,
there's the Dimate X.
Yeah.
And there is that one, which is obviously not for the socket we've got, and so on. And then there's a conversion kit and things like that. So I was just like, which one is it? Sure.
You have a D-Mate 2.
Yes. Na 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 na.
Oh, it does have a screw in it.
Removal, compatibility, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Yes.
Why am I doing it like this?
Oh. There is a lack of instructions.
Oh, there are no references. Huh.
What? I see.
Okay.
No, unfortunately not. However,
right. Well,
it's also not.
It's not rocket science, I'm sure.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I agree. It would have been nice to have the official guidance, just like, you know, if you're supposed to rotate and stuff like that. But
just because I know there are a couple of the Intel sockets where they were just like, ha ha ha, you have to do this in one direction and then 90 degrees, not 180. It's just like...
yeah, and the whole point of having a kit like this to make it easy is that someone has figured out the exact steps to get a perfect delid every time, kind of thing.
Yeah, as JD says, as it's soldered, may have to rotate. That's absolutely fine. That is what I presumed.
Can you delid a soldered CPU?
Yes.
Ah.
Oh, I see. Yes, everything from 5th gen onwards is soldered with indium. I think it's 5th gen where they swapped over. No, it was the 4790K and the 40. Oh god, what the hell were they called? Devil's Canyon. Devil's Canyon was a soldered IHS. That was the major difference between the two when they were new. Was they were soldered, and the.
Why does Skylake suck then? Because 6th gen was horrendous for the thermal paste going off, if my memory serves me. Either that or just every 6700K I've ever seen has just had insufficient cooling on it. Don't know, I might be talking out my ass there.
No, I don't specifically know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, was it really 9th gen?
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think it was that early that they went solid.
I thought that was the main thing with the Devil's Canyon.
Yeah.
Swap over.
FX 8350, if you delid it, you'll kill it. Why is that? Is that again? Is that because it's soldered or something, and you cannot delid it without damaging the die or something? This has a 4770K in it, FYI.
4770.
So, yeah, that does. Good. So that could be another good contender, which saves us from.
Our 4770K should be fine.
Yeah, because also that means that we don't, because we probably don't want to risk the 4790Ks.
Is the one that is. Oh, there we go. It definitely moved.
Yeah.
Is the one that's definitely goosed.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, so we want to do that one anyway. I mean, well,
yeah.
I seem to remember, how many 4790Ks do we have?
We should have one. We should have one 90 and two 70s.
Okay, yeah.
And one 70S.
Yeah.
I think.
Because I think the 90 is yours and the 70s are mine, if my memory serves me.
Yeah, effectively, yeah, because one of the 70s was my one from my PC that you bought off of me.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm just basically, the reason why I bring this up is I'm determining what is expendable and what is not. And as far as I'm concerned, my old 4th gen stuff is expendable. So I'll tell you what. Before you nudge that, let's get the shot on camera. All right.
So yes. So if I go like that.
Oh, so I'm gonna go for the big zoom.
And then go. See, that's moving.
Oh yeah, it's just pulling it to the right. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice. That has now come off. Also, for the thermal paste ones, the triangle does to the triangle. What? Can compare both downwards codes with that third visual thermal. Really? Oh, today I learned. Yeah, I thought Devil's Canyon was the upgrade.
I've never been sure. Ah, there we go.
I did not intend for that to just fall off, but it did. There we go.
Cool.
That's an IHS.
So, yeah, so that thermal paste is dry. I don't know what to make of that, though. I'm out of my depth with delidding and stuff. Like, I know the principles and stuff, but like I don't know, like, if the thermal paste under the IHS is dry, does that mean it's crap? Because theoretically, the thermal paste going dry isn't a problem until it gets knocked and shears, and then you have a bad mount. But theoretically, the IHS doesn't move, so even if the thermal paste dries out, it's still going to be fine because it hasn't cracked.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. But like I say, I'm out of my depth on this, so this is a learning experience for me.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, there you go. And because there's literally no capacitors or anything on there, this is zero risk.
Yeah. I think it reliquefies with heat. I'd be surprised, but
some of them.
I wouldn't know.
Some of them certainly can do, but as far as I understand, the thing you need to do is scrape this off with like a Stanley blade or something.
Yes.
And then do the same on that.
Yeah.
And then replace the thermal paste. Then you stick the two together.
Yeah. Okay,
That is my understanding.
Okay. So,
however, this is the furthest I've actually ever gone on doing any of this.
Yes. Cool. So we've taken the lid off this. We don't have a board for this CPU, so we can't test. However, having proven the theory, should we go ahead and set up to do one that we can test?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So we've got here's a Z97 Sabertooth. So 4th gen Intel board. So 4th gen Intel board. This is an test board. This motherboard is not great at overclocking. However, it's functional, so we can use it as a test. This has got a 4770K in it. Are we going to knock the lid off of that, or are we going to find the 4790?
I mean, we can do it with that. Yeah.
I don't mind. I forget who owns what. I'm not precious about any of them, if I'm honest.
No, absolutely. But yeah.
So yeah. So I think the 4790 is in the gigabyte at the moment.
Yeah. I know that we had like a 4790S that was in the GPU testing setup.
That might be the one in the gigabyte.
So yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do
or another
one.
CPU. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can use another CPU to scrape the silicon off.
Sure.
Because the substrate won't damage the substrate.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So we need capture and a power supply. We need to fire this up and just go and
also because we can, whatever size these are.
Yeah.
To stick that on there.
We can stick that on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could start out. So yeah, we need a before test, and then we could just go direct die. So what are we going to try and cool this with first? Are we going to fire up the freezer, or are we just going to stick an air cooler on it just for proof of concept?
I think we'll purely stick an air cooler on it because I don't think we're looking for hard numbers. We're just looking for working.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll see a difference with an air cooler, but if we do see a difference, then that certainly is demonstrable.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we wanted to go all out, we can get the NHD15.
Oh
just be like,
that's probably our best bet, the D15. Just because I'm trying to think what air coolers I have lying around that I have a full mounting kit for that are not terrible, because most of my air coolers are just for testing.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, the NHD15, we've actually got the full mount kit for that. So yeah, I'll grab that off the shelf.
Yeah, I can't remember what mounts on it, but I know that the box should be next to it.
99% certain it's got 4th gen Intel on it.
Yeah. Excellent. Fine.
That's
good.
That's an HD15, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. Is that Intel? That looks like Intel.
Yeah, it's probably Intel.
Sorry.
It's still got the thermal paste on there from when
don't know what we last
Postal
used
pasted it up, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool, that exists. There's a stick of RAM in there. As a special treat, it might work.
Absolutely. I was going to say...
Oh, it's a single 8 gig stick. That'll do.
Yeah.
For a moment, I thought that was a... it said 16 gigs, and I was like, that's a single 16 gig kit. What the hell? But no, it's part of the kit.
Right. Legitimately need to...
stick this on a mouse mat.
Yeah, gain the knowledge of which DDR3 I want, and just see if I can find any cheap sticks of it.
Yes.
Just because we're at the point where we kind of need more.
I only have just scrap of sticks lying around now. I think I've sold off any like matching kits that I had of DDR3, because anything that is DDR3 I quite frankly don't care about at this point.
Exactly. The only reason we care about this is because we've got a freezer and a delidding tool and stuff.
As I say, we're interested in this stuff because it's old high performance stuff that we can play with, basically.
Yeah, and it's also a case of like we can buy complete replacement CPU and motherboard for like 70 quid.
Yeah. Good. Right, power supply.
What? Sorry, I just see Postal enter the chat and go, I have a power supply, a PSU powering a GTX 480. I'm sure it can handle a 2080 Ti. And I was like, why are you using a GTX 480 in a computer with a 2080 Ti?
Why are these in the same sentence? Postal, explain yourself.
Postal, please.
How you doing, dude?
Also, hello.
All right, we got power supply, we got RAM, we got cooling. We just need capture now, don't we? And a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, can do. The capture card's over there.
Yeah.
Is opposed to next to the YouTube PC.
There's the long boy.
Yes.
Everything has moved. We're I think it was the last time we were streaming actually. We mentioned that we'd set up a dedicated streaming PC for the podcasts, and we've actually now got all of that in position on this bench here. So we're moving stuff around again, but we've got a better setup, which still requires us to run some cables when we're putting things in place, but it does mean that we don't have to take apart half of the YouTube bench when we want to do stuff now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the plan will be to get a really long USB cable to run over, so it's on the bench here, just so we've got USB into that machine. Easily accessible, and also a case of being able to do capture just effectively on the desk here. Where is the paper? There is. Yes.
Right, need another HDMI cable because we're using extra HDMIs now.
Yes.
I'm just trying to remember what we're using where at this point. Right. That's a 1.5. You used the fresh 2-meter one, so yes, I shall take this one.
Also, the fresh 2-meter HDMI cable you gave to me was a DisplayPort cable.
Oh, I see. What did we use then?
The old braided one.
Yeah. Fine.
The fresh HDMI was, in fact, DisplayPort.
Among Us noise. I feel bad for making that meme. Right, I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work because we're missing a long HDMI.
Yeah, effectively, because the 2-meter one is in the camera.
Yes.
How long is the one that goes into the microscope? And is that cable tied?
No, and 2 meters.
Okay.
Actually, that might be all. Heck. Right, thinking. Let me grab this first, because this, I definitely need more length on USB. So let me, that's slightly longer. Well, there's the Type-C on this. There you go.
Okay, right.
Probably shouldn't lean on the motherboard like that while it's doing stuff.
It's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem, he says. B-sod. It was not fine.
Right, HDMI out. Right, you need more length than the monitor does, so we're gonna swap that around. That's our in. Gonna put that under so you can lift it up. Okay, right. That's there, and yeah, I think that's gonna reach. That's not gonna reach. We'll make it reach.
Is it legal?
I will make it illegal. Oh no, no, this is not legal. However, it works.
If it's not on camera, it doesn't exist.
All right. Have you got what you need there?
I think so.
All right.
I will now go.
I was going to say, can you... Yep. I'm going to move the bench cam over to this side of the bench.
I require... is it the Proxmon kit that has all of the Allen key drivery things?
Yes. Which I shall now retrieve.
Oops. I can't remember which CPU we had in there, but do you remember when we were running a computer just with this, with no fans on?
Yeah, oh, well, it was it was the Gigabyte with the Intel something or other in. Oh, yeah. Oh no, it might have been the 8600K actually that we put that on, and it was like, you know, like it was idling at 60 kind of thing, but
I was just like, okay.
Yeah, and like it was loading at 70, which, you know, all things considered wasn't very good, but it had no fans on it. And it was like, you could just leave it passive.
You very much shouldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Also a matter of...
it's fine as long as your workload is 1 second long.
Yeah, and also just the problem with passive is even the slightest bit of airflow is like 200% better.
Yeah.
So passive just doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, right, let's see what this looks like.
That is PCI.
Jump scare. All right, cool.
That is Cider. That is EPS.
Revolve around Caradog's head. Right. Okay, I can probably pull back a bit and just give you a bit more lean over room.
There you go. Good. Keyboard and mouse. Good. Good. We need a device from which we boot, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
If we're looking to go to Windows.
Okay.
The monitor is on.
Need to... oh, heck. Okay, I need to check if there's anything on this drive.
There are not power buttons on here. Power LED, power switch.
Where is my MacBook? It is not where I thought it was. Never is. I had it. I knew where it was. Unless. Found you. Okay, right. I just need to check what's on this drive. I don't think it has anything important on it. Aha! It posted.
There you go.
Have we... Right, hang on a sec. Capture. HDMI. XR1. Huzzah!
There you go.
And we'll put us in the bottom right. I think it's probably our safe zone. Cool. Right, 4770K. Groovy. Right, we just need this to boot into Windows, and then we can get a before temperature setting. So we're gonna have to blast Windows onto this, which is a bit of a drag. Yeah, annoying. I'm having one of those moments where I'm just like, we were not really prepared for this, but it is what it is. Okay, right. This is expendable. I'm going to quickly just format it, just so it's safe for stream. Samsung erase.
Yes, toolkit's on there.
exFAT erase.
Is that the 840 Pro?
Yes, I think this is one of your drives.
Probably.
Yeah, I think I have one of these lying around, but I forget whose is who.
Is it the staff? It's Windows 10?
Yes, correct. Cool. Right, need that.
I require a SATA cable.
SATA?
Oops. Plug that in the correct way round.
Oh, come on, I must have one out of the packet. That didn't sound very... Did you turn that off just then?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I could hear the power supply ticking away, and I'm like, is it supposed to be doing that?
Please remain off.
Ah, that one's opened.
Oh no, it's an 850 Pro. No, it's not my one. This one's your one.
Ah, huzzah. Whoop. Oh, actually, I think your one actually has a label on it saying Caradog wherever it is, so it will be around.
Ah, it's there.
Oh, yes. Oh, good. That solves that one. Yeah. Because I know when I came across one, I put your one to one side, so I knew I was using my one, just in case I ended up needing to salvage it or, like, put it in someone else's computer to make good or whatever. Okay, right.
Is that a power button? No, it's a BIOS button.
I'll grab the widget.
What? There we go. I did the wrong ones.
Oh. I do not see it. Is it over there? Oh, that's a bummer. That's gone walkabout. Oh, all right.
I have a DC jack.
Yeah, no, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to jump start it every time. I don't know where that's gone. Then usually that's in sight somewhere. It's never far away, but fine, whatever. Okay, right. So
the BIOS battery may be dead.
Okay. I tell you what, I'll grab another one. We have many of those, so
just because, yeah, it said enter setup to recover BIOS.
That might just be because the CPU has been out.
Yeah, but I'd posted, gone into BIOS.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Saved.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got
so
you.
It might just be a case of it might be flat.
Yeah. Boop.
Thanks.
Okay, right. You love the motherboard? You feel 14 years younger? It's all right. We've got all of the plastic armor and everything that goes on this board as well. But where does that one come from? Oh, that's the thing. Oh, yes. There. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got all the stuff that goes with it as well. We think it looks prettier without all the plastic on it. But yeah, it's a cool looking motherboard.
It's also the case of we're having, at least as far as we could tell, the VRM was overheating with the plastic on.
Possibly, yeah.
Just because we couldn't get the fan to work.
Yeah.
The fan for the VRM.
Yeah.
Because there was plastic covering it.
Yeah.
It was just like, I liked the idea, but it was also just kind of...
Yeah. Like the actual look of the board, you know, the black plastics with the white PCB looks awesome. So it was a question of why did you cover it up with all of the plastic armor? Like but then again though, we've had this conversation before. We both have I think that's coming up. There it goes. Yeah, we've had this conversation before where both of us dislike it when there are too many covers and metal plates across motherboards. We're just like, we put Windows in our computers because we want to see the contents. So why would you then just immediately cover it all up again? You know, it looks cool. Show us the circuits. So, yeah. LTT shut down for a week. Graham, no output either. Well, I was on holiday. That's my excuse. I have a video ready to edit, but I didn't get back to work until Wednesday. Wednesday night, I was still recovering. Thursday, I was streaming. Last night, I was guest starring on a friend's stream, and now it's today. So I just haven't had time, basically. But I will be knocking out something ASAP this weekend, though. So yes.
Oh, that's good.
Right. Is the chiller working now? We don't know. We haven't tested it yet. It might go on the bench at some point today, but it's low priority. We do need to switch it on just so we can confirm that it works and just answer that question.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah. Cool. So we are currently just installing Windows on this SSD so we can get some benchline to test. Then we can go for the delid and see what difference that makes, I guess. So yeah. Right, we'll let that crack on through.
It's unfortunate. Oh, was it? What? Was it the second gen of the Z97 boards that had M.2?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, someone knocking at the door, and I'm like, am I going to go and look or not? But no, we're closed. Just thinking it might be a delivery or something, but I'm not expecting anything anyway, so no, I'm ignoring it. Anyway. Okay, right, yes. Sorry, I got distracted. All right, that was them driving away.
Good. Done. Install. Complete.
Distractions. Good, right. Do you want to switch it off so you can swap out? Oh, you've already swapped out the thing. Brain dead. Not awake.
I have done the swapping. It has occurred.
And this battery is mega dead.
Ah, yes.
130 millivolts.
Fabulous.
All right. Okay, right. So we have a Windows installation. So yeah, we need a Wi-Fi adapter just so we can bash some drivers onto that. Or well, no, we don't need drivers to
not for CPU
to
tests.
burn up the CPU, do we? So yeah. Cool. All right. Good. All right. I can just sit down and do nothing then. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Caradog is doing the things. I'm gonna do the thing. Yep. All right. Yes, and yeah, we were talking about M.2. Yeah, it is surprising that this one doesn't have M.2 actually, because I think like all the Z87s didn't have M.2, but I thought any Z97 that was mid-tier or higher would have an M.2. So yeah, it is surprising that this Sabertooth doesn't. But on the other hand, though, it's did Strix exist in this era?
I don't actually recall.
Yeah, because Tough might have been the gaming series for this era. Because I was about to say, like, by modern standards, tough is a solid mid-range, with prime being the entry level.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was about to say, well, it's only a tough, it's not a Strix. But on the other hand, this was supposed to be a high end in the day.
Yeah.
Short of an extreme board, anyway, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I presume this came later, just by it being like the Mark S and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, yeah, the Mark S just basically means it's white.
Yeah, but I would have presumed that would have come later.
Maybe.
They would have released a standard PCB color one with standard plastic.
Yeah. I mean, my understanding, my assumption would be that they just did the Sabertooth again, but they just selected white in the options when they were ordering the PCBs, basically.
Yeah.
Huh. Tough was special back then, not my... Yeah, that's fair. No cider today, guys. I think I'm going to break out some cider because I've got nothing else to do. So, right. Yes, I'm going to break out cider. Are we going to make a start on one of the boxes?
Yeah, do you want to open the one on the left, which is the Perry?
Yeah, all right. Huh.
We're getting everything ready for you.
Good. Okay.
We're signing into your bank accounts. Oh!
I don't do online banking. Right.
No.
See base for opening instructions. Right. Open it, and there will be a tap in there. Okay. Aha.
There is a tap in here. Oh, there's a memory stick here. What is this memory stick? Oh, it's Kingston, so I don't know.
It's funny because it's true. P.S. Kingston, seriously, please write down what your memory modules are on the side of them. It's really annoying. Oh, that's...
The degree of fandangling required.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it so it's not kinked.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The level of fandangling that is required. Maybe later.
That is possible.
Huh.
All right. Getting cups.
Fabulous. RTL. Overclocking.
I don't know why that popped into my head.
Goes to transfer speed.
Oh, right, yeah. We are capturing. I assume, yeah, I assume everything is good for viewing, yeah. Right. I shouldn't, it's not funny. It's not funny, it's childish and vulgar. That smells really good. I assume you want a pint. Oh, shut up.
Yes.
I had switched on to being sensible.
Yes, absolutely.
I know I started
I'm still
that,
laughing
but...
at the face you pulled.
Ooh. Yes, I like that.
It's ever so slightly strawy.
Strawy, like as in grass straw?
Yes.
Yeah. That's pears,
That's very
though.
nice.
Yeah. Like, it's got the flavour of the pear, but also, you know, like the skin of a pear has a bit of an odd taste and texture to it.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of that in there, which is fine. It's just what pears taste like.
Ancient version of hardware monitor. Hardware info.
It's reasonably sweet, but there's a fair bit of an alcohol kick in there. You can taste the alcohol on it quite a lot. It's 5.8%, so it's not devastatingly strong, but you know there's alcohol in that, you know.
Yeah.
That's very good though. It's sweet, but it's not a sweetness that masks the alcohol, which is what you usually get with a sweet cider, which is why a lot of people don't. It's why a lot of cider drinkers don't like sweet ciders, because when it's too sweet, you'll just obliterate the flavour and everything with the sweetness. So yes. Mark your cup. All right. I don't know if it'll help, but I will. Where's Oh, I did have a Sharpie over here earlier on. I'll put it down over there.
I did have a pen. I no longer have a pen. Oh, that will cause problems. Do not.
G-Man. There we go.
Exit. Would you like to run this benchmark with 8 gigs of RAM usage? Yes. Wait. No.
We've only got 8 gigs of RAM. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Put that up there. Where's the? That's out of the way. Good. Okay. Good. We're set. Got alcohol. Caradog's doing all the work. I can just sit and talk to chat. Good. Right. Right. Are we under load at the moment? I see we're pulling about 60 watts. 60 watts on the dot as well. That's more or less. Yeah, 61, 62. Excellent. All right. Those temperatures are already really good because it's a heckin' Noctua. And God, this isn't a top-end CPU, but it's certainly a high-end CPU for its day.
It was the top-end
Yeah,
one.
it was flagship until the 90 came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God, flagship CPU pulling 60 watts. Yeah.
Something's up there.
Modern CPUs be thirsty, don't they? Something's up?
Well, just the effective clocks are a whole gigahertz lower.
So remind me, what does effective clock mean?
Effectively, real clock.
Yeah, it's.
Although that's working.
Clock speed allowing for it waiting for something. Do we have an expectation on what kind of performance it should get?
No, I have no idea what level of performance this should get.
That's fair. All right. So what was our temperatures there? I looked but didn't remember.
No, I wasn't particularly looking, only just because the clock seemed off.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. We're also on single. What memory is in this thing? We've got matched sets memory in here. Should we put some actual RAM in this thing?
I'm going to enable the overclocking mode.
Yeah,
effectively, and then just reboot into Windows, and hopefully, we won't downclock into the Stone Age.
We have
that's all. Because I think the motherboard was downclocking.
Yeah, I mean, also we're in single channel RAM, which is going to hurt the impact a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll double check Cinebench.
Yeah, I'll get a kit out of this because the Corsair PC down here has 2 8-gig kits in it.
Ah, cool. Okay.
So it's got 4x4 in it. They're not matched. It's 2 separate kits, but they do work together. We might have to bully it a bit because not matching sets, but they work together in this motherboard anyway. So, I think this is the last of the good DDR3. I use that term relatively because I don't know what it actually is, but this is the last of the matched kits that I have.
Oh, that's more like it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, is that behaving now?
The clocks are certainly a full gigahertz higher now.
There we go.
That's more like it. Yeah. Now we're at 80 something watts, which is what we should be at. That's more like what we should be seeing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's much more realistic. this is good as well, because that means we're going to push more heat, which is what we actually want. We want to push heat right now because that's what we're trying to demonstrate, cooling capacity. Yeah. And 60C load with an NHD 15 single fan, that seems much more plausible to me.
Yeah. If we were being accurate, we'd need to know roughly what the room temperature is.
Within reason. Like, if we want to be accurate, we've got to run this for half an hour to wait for heat soak and stuff like that as well. But yeah. But what we're hoping is that we delid this and knock a clean 10 degrees C off of it or something like that. You know, and that would be a sufficient demonstration. Because if we can get 10 degrees out of it on air, extreme overclock under extreme cooling, we would see an even bigger drop.
Yeah. 1.99? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had a 67C peak there. I don't know where that one came from. Oh yeah, no, we had 62 just then. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking for the settings to effectively lock it off on. Because obviously if we get 10 degrees cooler, we could have 0.1 of a volt more and another 100 megahertz clock, and it would look like the temperatures hadn't changed.
Yeah, we're not actually, well, are we floating boost here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we are, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to shut up and let you lock it off at an appropriate point.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what the numbers roughly were, and it's 1.15, 1.1. I'll lock it off at 1.19 volts.
Yeah, dial in a dirty 4 gigahertz or something like that.
I was going to stick it at 3.9 just because we know that's stable at 1.130.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I will.
That's surprisingly low as well.
I will. There you go.
Good.
Oh, I didn't look at what the temperature was before I closed it. Oh well.
Delidding a 14-core, 28-thread E5 Xeon will be a lot of fun. Hot as hell and very cheap. Yeah,
interesting.
Possibly.
Oh, go on.
Part
Actually
of me
shut down.
Yeah, part of me is just like. I mean, we've threatened a lot of getting into doing more of this extreme overclocking on old hardware. You know, like get something old and rag the nuts off of it, kind of thing. And part of me is just like, that sounds cool. Let's do more of that. And part of me is just like, I don't want to buy HEDT stuff because I hate X99, and X1, X299. I hate high-end desktop. I just think I think it's just a terrible platform, basically.
It was very good for high-end desktop.
Yeah.
For being high-end desktop, if that makes sense.
But the kind of people who actually buy it, like gamers, it's just like, no, that's not what you need. It doesn't help you in games at all. You know, it's a multi-threaded environment that was designed for workstations. And you're not using it for workstation use. It's just, yeah. So it's one of the reasons why I've always been very unenthusiastic about it. But are you deliberately running the fan low?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you just deliberately trying to get more heat out, or what?
I'm also just deliberately setting a roughly fixed fan speed until we hit, there's a problem temperatures.
Sure. Yeah.
How do I advanced mode? There you go. Hopefully in here I can go.
Yeah, everyone says, I think it's cool that HEDT exists though. Yeah, I get it. I think,
oh God.
I suppose I was less malicious. Well, I say malicious. I was less bothered by it before the existence of Ryzen and in turn Threadripper. Although I guess Threadripper is high-end desktop.
Yeah.
But I was certainly less. I disliked it less before Ryzen because it was a matter of, okay, this isn't something that everyone needs, but when you're trying to build cool factor, like I can understand people who want cool for the sake of cool, and I get that high-end desktop was cool for the sake of cool. You know, it was like, I know that this isn't the most cost-effective setup, but you've got you've got you've got 2 banks of 4 memory on each side of your CPU. It looks cool. You've got all of those threads. It's cool, you know. And I get that. You know, I went through a phase of running a dual CPU system, and I had that for the sake of cool. But as soon as Ryzen came along and we had 8-core 16-thread consumer CPUs, it basically just became HEDT there was just no point, because you could get fundamentally the same performance and better in gaming with consumer hardware. So there was just no point at all to it existing anymore, even for the cool factor, because it was a case of
for standard users, gamers.
Yes, exactly. And so you still had a lot of gamers buying X299 gear when Ryzen already existed, and it was just like, this cost you 3 times the price of a Ryzen 7 or a Ryzen 9, and is slower in games, you know. And so it bothered me that people were buying it, being like, yeah, high-end desktop. And I'm like, yeah, it looks cool, but it's slower for your use case, you know. So I think that's what bothers me about it. I think it's not bad, but just a lot of people who want to run high-end desktop, no matter how many times you tell them, they can't get it into their heads that it's not actually very good, you know. That was my beef with it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Right. Where are we up to?
We are running at locked off settings.
All right. Those effective clocks look lower. Is that misbehaving again? Well, we've got the power consumption. We're not looking for numbers. We just want it to make heat. So yeah, we have a controlled heat output now. That seems to be
somewhat controlled. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's looking for about 86, 87 watts by the looks of things.
Yeah.
With some fluctuation. I think that's consistent enough for our dirty live testing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still floating core, fixed unclock though. Uncore. Yeah.
Yeah. The difficulty is it's an Asus board, and I don't know my way around Asus boards, so I'd have to spend an hour working out where any of the options are.
Yes.
And I just wanted to at least somewhat fix the ratio and somewhat fix the voltage.
Yeah. That has okay, there we go. That's just banged on load again. Yeah, that was between cycles just then. Okay, I think it's only the clocks are only wandering between cycles. Once it actually gets onto a load, the clocks tend to stay. There's still a little bit of wobble, but it's
good enough
megahertz.
for this. Yeah, it's good enough for this.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, all right, that's good enough. That's our control setup. So we're looking for about 70 degrees load by the looks of things.
Is that window? Yeah, that is window.
Oh well, 65 to 70. Yeah, 65 to 70. 50% core usage.
There you go.
On a set. Where's our percentage core usage?
Yeah.
Okay, that's off load at the moment because it's at 60 watts.
But yeah, the thread usage is hitting high-ish.
Okay.
So things and stuff are weird, but it's basically a case of we're looking at package power versus temperature.
Yeah. All right. We're getting
It is not running as it should be, but
it's not perfect, but it's
good
enough.
A lot of that is going to be memory bandwidth restriction because Limpact loves memory bandwidth.
Oh yeah, should we do one more test with an actual RAM kit in it?
Yeah,
because that might actually just saturate us properly. So yeah, I don't know if you want to stick the whole set in it or just a paired 8 gig kit. These are all 4 GB modules. I'll quickly bash the numbers into Google and just see what we've actually got.
Yeah.
Stand by. Okay, right. HX318C 10 FBK. 10FBK 2x8. Right, that's 1866.
Cool.
That's reasonably high for DDR3, I think, isn't it? It's not 1600. That's FWK2. FW. Oh, heck off. Heck off.
Oh, that's the wrong module.
And FWK2. Oh, CL10.
Yeah, but what speed?
These are also
Oh,
1866.
cool.
So yeah, I'm just trying to see, is it a ranking difference or is it primary timings? CL10.
That's 10, 11, 10.
I think they're identical, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timing, they're identical. That's probably why they actually behave together fairly well. So yeah, we can just shove the whole lot in there as a 16 kit if you want. That's doing a lot of faffing by the sounds of things.
Insert comment.
Nope, that's not going to go.
Insert usual comment.
What about Asus boards?
Yeah.
It would have started if it was a gigabyte.
The problem is we have an empirical evidence.
Stick those in there.
This works. They didn't boot on their own.
Well, try the white ones at least, just so we can still, because the objective is that we get a dual channel kit at least in there. Mm. You got one of the nice 2400 kits. Mm.
Oh, I did actually turn the power supply off.
Activate!
Who needs a beep speaker with a solenoid background?
I know, right? You can hear the Antec switching on and off from across the room. Ah, that sounds promising. Yeah, that's going to post. Huzzah! What toolkit is that on the desk near you? Which one? It's not going to be the Proxon because that's not in shot.
This,
what toolkit?
Which is hidden by the monitor,
yeah.
Thus not entirely certain.
Yeah, everything else is just boxes.
XMP, disabled. The options are disabled or disabled.
Yeah, well, it's not an XMP kit anyway.
What?
Okay, right, focus.
Oh, there literally isn't an... Yeah, okay, there literally isn't an XMP.
Yeah, it's not XMP RAM. In the DDR3 days, XMP was exotic.
Yeah, but there isn't an option to set it for it to just go, don't restrict me.
Oh,
so I've enabled manual overclocking instead.
Yeah.
I was just like, I see.
Fair enough. You're at 1600 at the moment, though.
And what is this RAM?
1866. We decided.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Let's try that. As long as this gives something that works, that'll do, because we don't care about the amount of RAM. But now we've actually got a dual channel kit in there, we should not be horribly restricted by being single channel. At whatever the hell. Where's the other? What even was
1600.
this? Yeah. 99924. Yeah. That's Vengeance LP. Oh, I thought LP was all DDR4. Very well. All right. Stand by, everyone. Although we don't have the power up widget, I've definitely got a beep speaker on hand, so we'll stick that in there. What LED is that? DRCT? No idea. Speaker. Boop. It's already on. I'm going to bring up the spec sheet for that round again. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, no, it's 1866. CL10. Something.
Yeah. Fine. BIOS reset it and just run it at 1600 then. Yeah, like again, maximum speed is not important here. We just want a speed that is not safe mode, basically. Because we are stalling. Whoop. Okay. Right. I'm going to switch back to that one while we wait for it to go. Angry boyo. Oh, come on. Don't be like this. It was fine. Just start. BIOS battery out. Fine. Enjoy these. Remember when we were going to delid CPUs?
Yeah, and then you wanted to change the RAM.
I guess, but yeah, I just wanted to have it running at more than a jog. Okay. How this board doesn't have a postcode is wild. Yeah, that's the weird thing about this Sabertooth board, is that it was a enthusiast board, but is not really very good at being an enthusiast board. And again, there's a snide backhanded comment about Asus in here somewhere. You've got another board that is an enthusiast board that isn't very good at being an enthusiast board as well, don't you? But
it's good at being a workstation board, though.
Yeah. But also, you could replace it with a £100 board that would also be good as a workstation board.
Well, no, because it wouldn't have U.2.
Yeah, that's
and
a
it
fair
wouldn't
point.
have 10 gig WAN built in.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Which are the main things.
Right. Start. Okay, I think that's posting now. I saw the lights do the appropriate dance. Ooh, it power cycled again. There we go. We have a beep. Huh. Okay, we're at 1866. Let's just let it go.
Let it go! Okay.
Yeah, or rather, we'll just let it run with whatever settings it's got, I guess. Although, if you want to dial in your fixed voltage, yeah. Lock off the CPU, but just let the RAM do whatever it wants to at this point, I think. Good.
Well, I've forgotten what it was. Yeah, 1.2.
Nice. All right. Do it. Just do it.
Hopefully.
Excellent stuff. Right.
I wonder if it literally just hadn't detected that the RAM module had swapped.
Maybe. Again, it's... I don't know. One of the issues with the Antec has a really long decay time on it.
Yeah.
So, you switched off at the Antec, and then you can wait 10 seconds, then turn the Antec on, and the system will just power back on because the Antec never fully switched off. This is not a good testing PSU. It's got a lot of grunt in it, which is why I use it for testing. But in reality, it's actually a really bad power supply for testing with. Just because, again, that rail decay is just so huge. You have to wait like 15 seconds for it to actually cut out fully. Otherwise, the board doesn't really know what's going on, and it gets a bit shitty.
1862.
Yeah, that's near as damn it.
1862.4.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, though,
okay.
And it is also now dual channel, which is the important bit. So hopefully we should find that we are. It doesn't look like that's made any meaningful difference to load. Oh no, the 100. Oh, there you go. Look at it go.
Ah, do not. Yeah, there you go.
110. There we go. Good. Core usage is still 50%, but it's getting more. Yeah. It looks like we're still memory restricted. However, we've managed to screw 110, 115 watts out of the CPU now, which is good. That's more heat, which means we'll see a bigger difference now. So yeah. And it's drooping between cycles, and it should bang up to 110 in a sec again.
Ha! Shows how memory bandwidth limited we were. Our previous cycle times were 55 seconds.
Yeah, the gigaflops are about 100, and now we're at 178.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Shows how important tuning the RAM is on DDR4 and lower for impact.
Yeah.
On DDR5, you basically don't care because there is so much bandwidth in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, right. So now we're seeing... right, so it's getting a little bit trickier because we've got a 30-second cycle time and then it falls off load.
Yeah.
But let's wait for it to hit... Let's see what the temperature does again when it hits load. Oh, I think it's finished now.
Yeah, probably has.
Yeah. Have we got... Can we hit it with a harder load?
No, because we haven't got enough RAM.
Okay.
We need more RAM to do harder maths, basically.
Okay.
Which is the problem we're in.
Yeah. All right. Cycle it one more time. Let's just see. Let's take and we'll stare at the core temperature. We've had highs of 82, but we'll run it again. Stare at the core temperature and just see what it wants to go at, and we'll just run it. In an ideal world, we'd get the other kit working as well. However, we're losing a lot of time messing around with this, and I want to get going. We are stalling at the moment, and I want to get back. I want to get back into the fun stuff. All right, setting up. There's the load. 70 degrees, 73, 70, 73, 74. And it drops to 68 now and then. I'm calling that low 70s.
Yeah.
72, 73, around that kind of area. Like, we've had a peak of 82, but that doesn't mean anything. While we were actually under load, we were seeing low 70s. Because like that peak of 82, that was probably caused bang onto load, and then the fan ramps up slightly to compensate, and it pushes the temperature back down again. So yeah. But realistically, when it's sitting on load, we're getting low 70s. That's the number that I want. Dave Weldon thinks we're going to break it.
God damn it.
All right. Oh, you trying to screen cap? Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
We have a couple of them now.
Excellent. Right, let's do it. Let's switch back to... oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, close, close, close. Shut down.
Oh, we might be... another reason... we should turn off fast boot. Oh, it doesn't matter now, I guess, but we could have done... Yeah, doesn't matter now. Because that might have also been punking us for hardware detection. But it doesn't matter now. Good. Okay. This is fine.
This is fine.
Can you do polls on YouTube chat? No, apparently you cannot.
Also, I'll have you know it's /poll.
We cannot do 4chans in chat. No.
/ML poll.
Yeah. Oh, JD says yes. Or hang on a second. No, ignore that. Right. I was going to run a poll for how many people would say it's going to work, or how many people, or it's going to break. Yesn't. I'm going to straw poll it. Stand by. Results. Ranking poll. Right. Lower temp. No change.
Dead.
Dead. Anything else? Lower temp, no change, or dead. Those are our three options, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Max points. What does max points mean?
I don't know. Come here. Oh my god. Thank you.
Let's try that.
A, B, C, or D.
I haven't tried doing a straw poll in a long time, so let's see how that goes. Straw poll!
Okay.
Live results. And the results are coming in.
And everyone says kill it.
We've got... Okay, most people... Okay, so far, most people are going for lower temps. We've got a fair few for no change, and we've got one vote for dead. Less temp, assuming you just relid the CPU. Are we going to start direct die and then relid it? I vote we direct die.
Yes.
Go big or go home. And knowing our luck, this is for some other die that is a lot thicker or something, and we just miss the core entirely and have about 3 millimeters of thermal paste to get through. That's a surprising number of results, actually.
It's above 0.
Yeah, we've got 4 people who think it's going to die.
I require a socket protector.
Okay, yep, reasonable. Yep.
It doesn't need to fit, it doesn't need to work, it just needs to avoid the pins being completely butchered.
Yes, if you drop the screwdriver, it will not muller the pins, yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you use YT pole? I don't know how. I went for straw pole because I was like, that is a thing that I know what it is. No oofy in the socket. What gen Intel is it? I'm late. This is 4th gen Intel that we're delidding. All right.
1.
And so now you're rotating. All right. Do the next twist under the camera. Got to show the people. I'll zoom down on it. Here comes the action shot. I can zoom down lower if you want for comfort. Or are you good? Monkey. Okay, that was the action shot. It's not very exciting. It slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross, crisscross. Okay. Huzzah! Oh, it's a much longer boy. I don't know what I expected, to be honest. Like I said, I've not really looked at much at this kind of thing much.
That also kind of looks like liquid damage.
Oh, hang on a minute. Is that worth a microscope shot?
What can we do on here?
Hang on a sec. Bam. There's a darkened spot there, yeah.
But also just all of this shmoo here.
I mean, we've had this under the freezer before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is possible that
that somehow.
Yeah. Should we clean? Shall I get some alcohol and we'll just toothbrush that?
We'll do a brushy.
Yeah, let's give that a brushy.
We'll also need to do a very careful desiliconing.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously still works. You're all right there. Did you inhale some thermal paste? Some ancient thermal paste from inside the CPU?
Basically.
And possibly whoever previously owned this is fingernails, where they use it to... I don't know.
Where is the Stanley? Oh.
I'm going to toothbrush.
Very well.
Huh.
I require a blade.
Yeah, there's usually a Stanley. That might help you a little bit, because that's
there we go.
Not too sharp. And yeah, there should be. Yeah, there you go. Right.
Oh, it's slightly magnetic.
Making this up as I go.
Hide the evidence.
That's not coming super clean. I kind of want to have a closer look at that. Start doing your silicon doings, and I'm going to
silicon doings.
Yeah, I'm going to set up. I'm going to set up the scope.
Very well. I am going to forget about the back plate. Back plate. Ah. Oh yes, of course this bit fell off as well because it's not got any screws in now. Who'd have thunk it? Right. You are not required. Get out of here. There you go. Be gone with you. Right.
Whoops. I don't know why I chose this route to get over here. Right, and this is a good test because we've got a long cable coming over here for the microscope if we needed it now. Okay, this crimes. Crimes.
Is the microscope on?
It was on, but now it's off. I don't think it likes the optical cable. Oh, no, it does not. Oh, no, it's turning on. Oh, and then it cut out again. Oh, it doesn't like that at all. No. Let's unplug that a sec.
I'm going to try the doodad. What is the doodad? The prying tool. That's the word.
Yeah. Yeah, the microscope won't work with the optical HDMI cable.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah. We can solve this because I can just output from this PC. I can just get a full screen preview up and then HDMI out. However, just for reference, we cannot directly from the microscope. What have I got open there? Whoops. Let's close some of this before we do any of that.
Yes, you are still on bench cam.
Yeah. Okay. Hup. Thinking. Where's it gone? There it is. Okay. Hup. Bow, bow, bow.
It's obvious that much of the weight of the CPU. I can see the desktop.
Ah, good. Okay. Right, have you got an empty desktop at the moment?
Yes.
Cool, okay, right.
It's obvious that most of the weight would be in the metal IHS and not in the silicon. But it is slightly surprising how light the silicon is. I presume this is sufficiently good removal of the silicon-y bits around the outside, the black bits. So I'm going to try and see what it looks like in the frame, because it seems reasonably flat. I can see the mouse mat.
Cool. Excellent. So now, if I go to capture with face cam, yeah, that'll do it. Okay, right. I can borrow that. I'll stick it under the scope and we can inspect. Whoop.
Indeed.
Oof. Yeah, that's an angry little spot over there. What happened to you?
I'm not saying it's broken, but based on my visual inspection.
Oh, I think that's just scum. I'm going to give that a little bit of a scrape. Where's suitable scraping tweezers? Okay, here's a suitable scraping knife.
I don't know.
What are you?
And I'm so sorry.
I can't tell if that's surface or not.
The fact that it still works. Yes, indeed, JD. Please stop. We can do this after we've confirmed the delidding didn't kill it.
True. Oh yeah, no, I don't like any of that.
What part of that looked good to you?
I think that's about as good as yeah. I think you could spend hours working on this silicon, but
yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, we
can fix this working unit.
Yeah.
We're gonna postal it until it's broken.
I'll postal you in a minute.
You wish. Shh. Where the hell's the triangle? Is the triangle on this? No, it can't be. I was just like, wait, where's the triangle? Yeah, that kind of works. That kind of makes sense. Being like, thus.
Yeah, yeah. Does the height look about correct, like eyeballing it?
It is lower.
Interesting. Well, send it.
Absolutely. You would expect it to be lower, because then it doesn't matter how hard you mount.
True.
But it's just the degree of lower.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Huh.
Oops, I don't know why I thought that would work.
But for real, where the hell's the triangle?
Well, you got 2 notches anyway. Notch.
Oh, yeah.
Triangles are for AMD users. Dirty, filthy AMD fanboys. You have no place in this stream, AMD fanboys.
Okay.
In this house, we use Intel.
No, I don't want a 2700X.
Okay, ow. That's the big oof. I don't want a 2700X. I don't care about Ryzen. I want a 8600K because I want something that's just going to work. Graham Lord, 2018-ish. See what you mean. It is quite heavy, that thing, isn't it? Right.
There. They're right there. They're on the motherboard.
Is it viable to delid a CPU with pins? Yeah, absolutely. You just have a delidding tool that just makes space for the pins, basically. Okay. That water ingress spot is odd. There is a slight gap in the silicon for, just like a breather gap. So maybe that was just frost that had developed in there just from ambient air.
Yeah.
For the record, this is really cheap, crappy thermal paste we're using because who cares?
Stop. Stop coming out.
Overheat. It could be.
Stop coming out. Do not.
Oh, it's points, not votes. Oh well.
And what the points mean?
I don't know.
Prize it!
I have no idea. Either way, the chat has faith in us.
I'm glad. JD was about to ask. What were you about to ask, JD? What was your question?
Okay. Oh, what's my comment about LMG and Gamers Nexus and stuff? Well, we've got a moment while Caradog finishes setting this up. I'm not going to drill into it because everyone's talked about this endlessly. There's been a lot of chat on the Discord and stuff like that. So, TLDR, firstly, I like LTT on the whole. I like Linus Tech Tips, and I believe in what they're trying to do. And again, on the whole, I like Linus. I'm not saying he's perfect. He has imperfections. There are times where I'm just like, no, Chief, that ain't it, But on the whole, I think Linus is passionate and loves what he does and is just trying to make a good heckin' YouTube channel. So firstly, let's just, that's my bias, so to speak. However, LTT have missed the mark many times, and we've had conversations before, either on Two Guys Talk Tech or in the Discord, where LTT have done a video that have made all of us cringe and be like, bro, guys, what were you thinking? And, you know, like where they've had videos where they were doing a graphics card overclock and they've tried to shunt mod it, and they had the cheapest soldering tools that money could buy, literally. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why did this video even make it to the channel? You know, your testing was bad, your methodology was bad, your execution was worse, your results are meaningless.
Yeah.
This video should have been thrown out. Or at the very least, someone should have looked at that and said, this is crap, go and do it again, but don't be bad this time, you know. So despite me overall liking Linus Tech Tips, they are absolutely not without fault. And having watched the GN video, and I watched it in full, you know, they pointed out lots and lots of flaws that make me go, ooh, ouch, it's undeniable, man, the writing's on the wall. So it has been a long time coming. LTT need to get the house in order, make no mistake. I think to a certain extent, there was an awful lot of focus on specifics, like the whole deal with the Billet Labs water block. That was an instance of a situation that went bad. That is not representative of a channel, but that was a symptom of systemic problems at LMG.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people were harping on about the Billet Labs block specifically, and I'm like, it was an example, but it itself is not the center of the drama. You know, it is just a good example of things going wrong. You know,
well. Multiple things going wrong, none of which should have occurred.
Exactly, yeah. Certainly, I think the Billet Labs block was one of about 2 or 3 straws that broke the camel's back, basically. So yeah, let's pull out for the wide shot. So yeah, so that's that.
Well, it's not completely dead.
It posted, yeah.
It's apparently posted.
Yeah.
Please may I have capture?
Capture.
Because look!
It lives!
Apparently it's a new CPU.
Yeah. In terms of the LTT response, the responses have been a little bit meh, but about as good as anyone could expect.
We have 0 contact.
Ah, yes, 62C. Yeah, okay, so it looks like our direct die is just a bust straight away.
Yeah, that frame is not compatible.
Yeah, it's for a different generation, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no point in going to Windows with that, is there? We may as well just stick the IHS back on and just hope that we get a benefit from changing the thermal paste.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Direct die is a bust.
Yeah, it's wrong gen.
Yep. So we're going to put the original ILM back on, put some new thermal paste under the die, and theoretically we should still get an improvement by virtue of the fact that we have changed the thermal paste under the IHS. LTT's response was, to be honest, in a way, I think it's about as good as we can expect, because one of the issues is that there was a lot of people criticized them for not just immediately prostrating themselves on the floor and begging for forgiveness, but also I think it's about as good as we could expect, because there are a huge number of people that, like, there were a lot of people in the comments who would be like, Linus should immediately step down and give the entire company to someone else. That is the only acceptable outcome from this. I'm like, that's not an option. It's his show. It's his business.
Yeah, there was contact, but just not good contact.
Yeah, that's just fundamentally 0 contact. So, you know, like, that kind of response is just not an option. So when people were like, oh, Linus's response was not good enough, he's still defensive, you need to understand that there are a lot of people who were basically saying that only his head would have been good enough, which is just not an option.
Yeah, I do think, though, he has, on several occasions, demonstrated that he does not have the attitude that is required, though.
I do agree that...
he has demonstrated that he is not interested in making accurate videos. He is not interested in correcting mistakes. He is only interested in making more money. By his response being, I didn't want to spend any time on this, and it would have cost me $500. Yet his response to potentially getting blacklisted by Nvidia was, lol, I'll just buy your $1,600 GPU and test it anyway.
Yeah.
Which was 3 times the amount, and he went, lol, I made more than that in the time it took me to make this argument from LTT store purchases.
Yeah.
It demonstrates his only interest is making money.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying that is true, but the statement demonstrates. So in that instance, his only interest was making money.
Yeah. So devil's advocate, I don't think he really believes that. However...
then he shouldn't have said it.
Precisely. It does demonstrate that he is very bad at handling a situation under pressure. And that does scan, because we know that Linus has historically been very bad at responding to drama as such. And, you know, like, again, him being concerned about, you know, the cost of retesting and stuff, like, he doesn't care about the cost. That's not what it was about. He just didn't want to retest the block. And he was just using that as deflection, you know. The bottom line was he just didn't care about the block and didn't want to look at it again. And he just wanted to just blow the whole thing off and just get and move on.
But he has enough staff for him to never have to look at it again.
I agree. That's not to say that he was in the right. That, I think, is just what was actually in his mind. You know, I don't think he's only interested in money. I think, you know, but... he
is yet to demonstrate he is anything but only focused on the money.
However, his words say otherwise. I don't think that's what he genuinely believes. However, we can only take him on his word, and his word is that it was about the money. So I agree with that much, you know. However, getting past that, though, as I say, I think, like Gleesha just said, so bad to see haters hate when someone is down a little. That's in a way what I'm getting at. There are a lot of people who are just sensing blood in the water and feel like them, and it really feels like there's a lot of people who are more interested in seeing Linus crash and burn than seeing an actual improvement and resolution to the issue.
I'm half and half, because I don't think there can be a resolution when this person, the person who has signed off on this, is still the person signing off on things.
Yeah.
Because it is always top down.
Yeah.
You cannot have bottom up management. It does not work.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be the question on whether Terran can make the difference then, the new CEO, because he hasn't been there long enough to really to have impacted the current situation.
No, absolutely. It depends on whether he's got enough power. Just because he's CEO doesn't mean he has any power whatsoever.
This is true, especially because Linus very much retains creative control per se.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very true. At the very least, we'll only know when LTT start making new videos and stuff like that, which should start rolling out soon.
Yeah.
Ultimately, one of the reasons why I didn't really want to have a massive discussion of this is that all we can do is speculate. However, what I can do is give you my opinion, and my opinion is that they deserve a chance to change. I think they have gone wrong. I think they have been going wrong. I think change does need to happen. And their week of absence, I feel like, was a very knee-jerk reaction that felt like them saying, fine, we'll make no videos then and lose a bunch of money. Are you happy now? Kind of thing. Like, no, we just wanted you to get good, you know. However, that's what they chose to do. And if they do improve, I think we can say, good, I'm glad you've improved. I'm glad that this situation has resulted in positive change. That's what we really want from this, is positive change. And
what I separately want is I want LTT Labs to actually publish decent data.
Yes, that is true.
The problem is, I have zero faith any of their data is remotely accurate.
Certainly at the moment, yeah.
And I'm not going to have any faith in their data being remotely accurate for years.
Yeah, I think...
Which therefore means all of their reviews are pointless, because none of the data can actually be trusted.
Yeah, certainly until... Like, there are other... No one else has as much testing as labs will have, but there are enough other people who will, like, you know, like Gamers Nexus have got a sound chamber now.
Yeah, but what testing has labs done that no one else has done? That was actually demonstrated to be remotely accurate by anyone else?
Well, if other people are doing the testing, then we'll be able to validate labs' data.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What testing have they done that was in any way unique or special that only one other place was doing? Because as far as I can tell, all they've done so far is review some graphics cards and processors and get wildly different results to everyone else.
Well, ultimately, they're still gearing up. That's the thing. So, you know, and again, it's not to excuse them. Like, for example, at the end of the day, like, I feel super bad for the dude from Labs who originally shot his mouth off on that tour video that kicked this off, because he shot his mouth off and he shouldn't have been throwing stones in glass houses.
I don't feel bad for him, because it shows a fundamental lack of understanding of the job he has. It shows a fundamental lack of understanding of the landscape.
True.
Because if you are unaware of who Gamers Nexus are and you're apparently evidence-driven labs testing, you failed on reading your job description.
That's true. I guess I feel bad for him because I feel like I suspect that in the past week he has probably had a bit of a downer. Well, I would be very surprised if he has not had a moment where he's just like, because let's face it, he was the ignition point, and he's going to know that. He's going to know that he was the ignition point for this, and while it's not, I don't want to say that it was entirely his fault, because you know the problems with LTT are more than just the labs results. It was the poor corrections, the rush jobs, things like that. However, certainly he was the guy who shot his mouth off and triggered the response to occur in the first place. You know, so yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I guess what the bottom line is, I hope we see an improvement at LMG, and I hope they get their act together, and I hope we see good comparison data between them and places like Hardware Unboxed and GN that show that they have actually got their stuff sorted. Because the objectives of labs are still a very noble endeavor, and I want them to succeed. So I want to see an improvement, and I want to see evidence of the improvement, so labs can succeed, because their objectives are really good, and people should want labs to succeed.
Yeah,
that I think that's the bottom line. So yeah, labs guy has also been grossly unprofessional in the process. Yeah, not gonna lie, that's why I say unabashedly he shot his mouth off. Yeah, you know. But we'll see. I think they're getting there, but yeah. It hits me that LTT must have the startup feel where lots of stuff is going on and ego is high. Spent the money and have most of the stuff. I think that's kind of the problem with them, is that they've got all the problems of a startup when actually they've been doing this for a long time and should know better. That's kind of the root of the issue.
Yeah.
You know.
There you go.
26 degrees. Beautiful.
There you go.
All right. Let's throw a load at this thing. So, yeah, as I say, I don't... like I say, I don't want to crucify LTT. I want them to get better, because I want labs to succeed. And like I say, I believe that Linus's heart is in the right place, but he's historically very bad at reacting to criticism for two reasons. A, there is an ego problem there. He often has difficulty of actually just saying, when he's in the wrong, he has difficulty going, you know what, I'm in the wrong here. Let's straighten this out.
Yeah.
And the other issue as well is that he does have a lot of haters, which means that there is a lot of hate that he does need to just brush off. Because like I said, there are a lot of people who just want his head on a pike, which is just not a reasonable response, you know. there are a lot of people who will be very, very confidently wrong on the internet, you know. And I say this as a fellow content creator who routinely sees comments on my videos of people who are just incredibly confidently wrong. And the only answer, you know, I don't reply to them because the only reply I could possibly make is, you're wrong and you're an idiot. That's the brutal answer. So, and my policy is just to never respond when that is the only answer I have. But the thing is that I get that, and I'm tiny compared to LMG. So think how many comments LMG get to that ilk of people who are just completely fundamentally wrong.
The difficulty is, though, it has been demonstrated in multiple cases that people chose to mention that LMG were fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that on that count, they do actually have to own up and be like, that should never have happened. Everything stops until we sort that out now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I guess what I'm saying is that I do believe that LMG are in the wrong. I do believe that they've got a lot to sort out. However, I understand that this is very difficult for them to respond to in a way that doesn't involve just pleasing the haters, because you don't want to reward the haters. They don't deserve that. You know, it's finding that it's like I was saying in the Discord earlier on, where one of the comments on their latest video was someone saying, you guys still haven't acknowledged or apologized to Steve from Gamers Nexus, you know, or rather you haven't said thank you for doing what had to be done, kind of thing. And that's the thing, it's just like, how do you do that, man? How do you say thank you for completely halting my business in all possible ways? Like, it had to be done, don't get me wrong, but how do you thank someone for that, you know? And so that's the thing, it's just, you know, I think a thank you, Steve, for creating a situation that had to be dealt with, I think a thank you is in order, but man, I don't know what the words for that are, that don't involve just prostrating yourself on the floor, which is, I don't know, doesn't feel right in some instances. Anyway, that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's really complicated. However, ultimately, I like LMG. I hope they get their shit together.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see from this. I want them to get their act together. I will continue watching them because I like their content. However, got to admit, they're not who I go for when I want hard numbers. They're not the people I go to. I go for them to a 20,000 foot overview. I go to Gamers Nexus when I actually want to know what's going on, you know. So yeah. Right. How are we looking? I'm seeing numbers that don't look promising.
Yeah, we're about 4 degrees hotter.
4 degrees hotter.
Yeah.
It's not dead, but it also didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Interesting, though. Fresh thermal paste. It's not very good thermal paste.
Yeah.
However, even not very good thermal paste versus 10-year-old thermal paste, well, 8-year-old thermal paste, theoretically, hopefully we should have seen a difference.
Yeah.
However, yeah. So I think the only way we'd really see a difference is if we were direct dye, but again, we don't have the right hold down we don't have the right contact frame for that.
Yeah, it doesn't appear so.
Okay. I'm just quickly back scanning the chat.
Yeah, kind of as Pete says, if LTT wants to make goofy videos, then that's absolutely fine. But they need to not make reviews.
Yeah.
And they need to not pitch stuff as a review giving an opinion on a product when they haven't done basic things like take the packing off of the product.
That was a big oof moment, yeah. Yeah. Again, one of the symptoms that's one of the symptoms of the issue, is just their response to that was like, oh, well, you know, if it was that hard to take off, then it must be a bad product. It's just like, okay, so it was hard to see, but ultimately that's still a skill issue. The response should have been, take the video down and reshoot it. But yeah, that again, that's their issue, is always to try and fix instead of try to do a dirty correction instead of going, this video is a bust because we made a fundamental error. There is always a dirty correction instead of a take it down and do it again.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I could rant for another hour about this. So yeah. Bleh. But yeah, in terms of their reviews, I think they should be allowed to do reviews. However, when you're doing reviews and when you're running labs, you better be damn sure your numbers are correct. And therein lies the issue. There was not enough testing to make sure that those numbers were correct. There was not enough quality assurance, because some of the examples that were given, anyone with a modicum of an ounce of sense should have looked at that chart and be like, are you sure? Like, seriously, are you sure? You know, maybe you should check with someone else to, you know, again, check with another outfit, because if another outfit is showing wildly different numbers, maybe something is wrong here, you know. Anyway. Right. GN showed much emotion in the LTT video and did not treat LTT the same as past companies. Yeah, a little bit. But yeah.
Also partially understandable, because LTT were taking pops at them when they were demonstrably in the wrong.
This is true, yeah.
So it's kind of a case of yes and also.
Well, that's why
comment.
I don't blame Steve, because you know, Linus's initial response was just like, "Bro, why you got to crucify me like this? You could have, you've got my number."
The kitchen roll.
Yeah, like Linus's initial response is, "Why you got to crucify me like this? You've got my number. You could have called," kind of thing. However, it's also just like, well, one of your guys shot his mouth off about me and Hardware Unboxed. Yeah. So if you want to play that game, maybe you shouldn't allow your staff to shoot their mouths off about your friends, you know. So that's why to an extent I've got, you know, because, you know, when GN made the video, man, they went for the throat. They didn't pull their punches.
Well, but they also had to.
But yeah,
because it would have just gotten ignored.
Exactly. They had no obligation to pull their punches either. So,
yeah, but not just that. They knew that they had. Sometimes you have to throw a brick through the window.
Yeah.
It's the only way that anyone takes notice.
Yeah.
Sometimes being polite doesn't work.
Yeah.
And there are ways and methods, obviously, always, but it is still the case that the answer is sometimes being polite just doesn't work.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in that. Sometimes you have to be rude to get through. Because when you're polite, people will brush you off. But when you're rude and someone takes offense, now you've got their attention, at least, you know, for better or for worse. All right. Tech Potatoes video points out problems on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I still haven't watched Ian's video. Ian's initial tweets on it, I think, were very good, but also only because I know of him very well, if that makes sense. I've followed him for a long period of time, so I knew the point he was coming from. He did not explain his standpoint well. Therefore, it very much looked like he was massively defending LTT.
Yeah.
Which was a problem, but I understand the point he was making and the place he was coming from, but only because I've consumed his content for like 10 years now.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to watch it, because I've been seeing it showing up on my subscriptions, because I am subscribed to Tech Potato, but I didn't watch it because part of me has, like, the only reason why I'm paying any attention to this drama is because ultimately this was a big happening in the tech YouTuber space, of which we are a part of. We are part of the tech YouTuber space, and this is a big event happening in that space. You know, there is some drama where, you know, it would be negligent to not pay attention to what is happening for potentially your own education, to see who's doing what to who and how that might apply to you. You know, I've been watching this because it's important that I do watch it so I can have an introspection and think, am I guilty of any of this myself? is there anything that I can learn from this? You know, so you know, you know, Tech Potato, he's not a great YouTuber per se, but he's Dr. Ian fucking Cuttress, you know, and you pay attention when he speaks.
He's certainly, you know, if that makes sense, of the old school. You know, he is of the old printed media and so on.
Yeah, yeah, he's Old Testament.
Yeah,
which is ironic considering he's not very old.
But yeah, but it's a, you know, which is why if there was a video with him and Gordon Mahong of PC World, I'd have been very interested in seeing that, just because Gordon is similar. Get back in there. You know, he is of a similar written media. And, you know, I'd have been interested to see if I was still aware of any of the people from old written media, you know, the people who wrote for, like, PC Format, Custom PC, Micromart, etc., those people, if I had known of any of those people, I would have been interested in their input as well, because they had to deal with similar issues as well, but in the before times, before we had remote desktop and all of that, you know.
Yes.
And it would have just been interesting additional insight and knowledge and so on. Because obviously I don't know anything about publishing media. I don't know anything about publishing reviews because I've never done one.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously I'm ignorant and can only be led.
Yeah.
But it is a case that there are certain people who will have more relevant information and knowledge than others.
Yeah. It's really tough to do because, you know, like taking... like I need to watch. I need to watch other channels like Hardware Unboxed more often because, you know, if we take like LTT and GN are really interesting examples because they're polar opposites. Because LTT are trying to do a 20,000-foot overview and give you a digestible takeaway about whether a product is worth getting or not, whereas Gamers Nexus are much more firmly in the camp of here are the numbers, make up your own mind based on that. I often find that Gamers Nexus seem to lack whenever I watch a Gamers Nexus review, I have difficulty understanding what my takeaway from the video should be. You know, like Steve will often say, you know, this is terrible, everything is going in a terrible direction. And I'm like, that may be, but that's what we have to deal with right now. So in the scope of what we have to deal with, is this worth buying or not? Or is there a better product, you know? Like, it's all very well telling me that all the graphics card, all the 40 series should be cheaper than they are. However, this is the price they cost. So, like, instead of telling me whether they should be cheaper or not, tell me whether there is a more competitive product. Basically, what I want to know from this video is, should I buy the AMD card instead? And I generally don't seem to get that from GN videos. But if I look through the charts, I know the charts will be accurate, and I can look at those charts and see, well, the competitive AMD card is champing at his heels, and I know that card is £100 cheaper, so from that I can derive my own conclusion. But I have to do that work myself, you know. That's kind of the vibe I get. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm kind of there. Lingonberry says, I feel GN often decides if the product is good or bad before they even get it to do any testing. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm gunning at, is that GN seem to base their opinions on what they think should be, not what is. And I do concur that there can be a conversation about what should be. We want better value for the consumer. We want things to be as cheap as they once were. But ultimately, what should be and what is are two different things. we want things to be cheap, but if they're not cheap and you need to buy something, you've got to make a decision.
Sure. I feel like slightly that's a false dichotomy. Because a lot of the time the response is, why do you need to buy something?
Well, let's assume that a customer walks in tomorrow and says, I want to buy a brand new computer. And I've got this.
Yeah. That's absolutely a different situation.
Yeah.
Because they're not watching the GM video and making a decision on what parts they want.
Yeah, but I am then watching the GM videos, so I understand what graphics cards are good and worth buying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I can.
Which is what they're paying you for. That's what the customer's paying you for.
Yes. However, I then need to be able to get a takeaway from these videos.
Yes. You need to have the ability to discern what the data means.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know what point you're making other than I need to be fed answers and not know what data means.
I guess, yeah. But I want to hear... I don't know. I guess I want to hear...
Because also...
I can determine the data, but I don't think others may be able to.
Yeah. I think... Boop, please. Or not. There we go. Yes. But also, secondarily, I think the point is the fact of obviously the conclusion in the opening point of being this MSRP is ridiculous anyway as a starting point, irrespective of what the performance is still a valid viewpoint. Yeah. So yeah. But I think it's also a case of, you know, if effectively, obviously, the standpoint is the performance is identical to last generation and it's the same cost kind of comment. It's a case of, well, there is no benefit.
Yeah.
Oh, have I not?
Yes, I suppose so. But in which case, I guess the answer I'm looking for from people is to say that this generation is bad because it is not an improvement. It is not an improvement, and it costs the same as the last generation. However, based on its performance to price ratio, currently makes it on the assumption that you're buying a brand new card and no previous generation cards are available. It performs as well as can be expected, kind of thing. You know.
I feel like that's a disingenuous half answer though, because other generations do exist and other products are available.
True.
And if you were going on that basis, you'd review every 30 series card based on its MSRP, not the fact that a 3080 cost £2,500 during 2020. And a 6800 XT cost you £900.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Also, though, like at the end of the day, though, I'm sort of complaining here, and I'm like, this is what I want them to say.
The comment is still the fact, though, that like
also,
RDNA 2 cards are still in stock, new, and offer better price to performance.
Yes.
And that's the conclusion of basically every GM review I've seen.
Pretty much, yeah. I think my issue is that what are we going to do when the RDNA 2 cards aren't available anymore? That's the bit, is like right now they're available, but they're out of production, I'm assuming. So it's just like while stocks last. So what do we do when there is no stock?
Yeah.
This time in 6 months when suddenly the stock is gone? Because when it's gone, it's gone. Just suddenly everyone will be out of stock. So then what is the answer? I feel like the review doesn't plan for the future per se. And I know that you can't predict the future, but you could at least speculate and just say, right now, if an RDNA 2 card is in stock, that is going to be better bang for buck. However, at some point, they're not going to be available anymore. And at that point, this card will be your next best option.
Yeah.
I think those are the words that I'm looking to hear, I guess. Or whether people say, right now this is available, but even when it's not available, this will still be a poor value option. You should save up the extra $50 to get the next tier of card. Because that then you'll be paying 5% more to get 50% more performance or something. That's kind of the one-liner that I want to hear, if you see what I mean. So yeah. AMD just released 7700 and 7800 at lower prices than the 6000 series. Yeah, I haven't seen the latest. I haven't seen the latest reviews for the 7000 ones yet.
They haven't been.
But my understanding, based on, I did see another video that was saying that RDNA 3 is Radeon's bulldozer moment, where basically it is just very hyped up and didn't actually deliver in a meaningful way. And that seems to be the criticism I'm hearing, which kind of seems to scan, because the only reason why they seem to be slightly faster is just that they are clocked slightly higher and stuff like that. Not that there's actually been a meaningful advancement in the architecture, which might be explainable by the fact of, they switched to chiplet and now they've got to figure that out. So, RDNA 4 might be the next big jump, and they've only had a small jump because they've made a dramatic change in how the chip is built. But certainly we haven't seen any mind-bending changes, whereas RTX 40 series had a modest speed bump. Not a world-changing speed bump, but a modest speed bump.
Yeah, I mean, because like the 4080 roughly matched the 3090. The 3070 roughly matched the 3080
we had
10
approximately a one-step up performance, didn't we? Which is
very loosely. The problem we had was obviously the fact of the price went up 1.5 tiers.
Yeah.
So the actual price to performance went down.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah.
And that was bad, but on the flip side, it's a case of, if we're working on the assumption that you're shopping for graphics cards because you need a new graphics card, you can't just not buy a graphics card, which is what I mean about, well, what do I do then?
Yeah, I think half of the answer is, separately as well, is obviously the fact of don't in a lot of instances, because an awful lot of the people who are looking at the stuff and going, I should upgrade, are on like 3080s.
Yeah.
6950 XTs and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
And it's a case of, down to the 3070, you do get somewhat of a performance increase. But then, as is saying, the 4060, 4060 Ti are the same or arguably a fraction slower than the previous generation.
Yeah, that one was pretty terrible. The 4060 Ti, the 4060 and 4060 Ti were legitimately just terrible, just because they were if you're trading blows with your predecessor, then something has definitely gone wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like that is unquestionable. Like I'm not asking for I think it's unreasonable to ask for 50% performance improvements every generation. I just don't think we can pull those improvements every time. However, when you're trading blows with the previous generation, that it does beg the question: why does this need to exist if it's not actually better than the previous one?
Yeah.
So that's quite reasonable.
And it's a case that slightly the 7600 gets away with it, because the 7600 was cheaper than the 4060 4060 Ti, so it slightly gets away with it just because current generation but a lower price, you kind of get away with basically ISO performance. But it's a bit daft.
4060 exists to sell you DLSS 3. Yeah.
I mean, to a degree, the benefit of the 4060 existing and the 7600 existing is the fact that it means that there is, again, another generation of 200 and something pound graphics cards, more like 300 pound, but we'll be generous and call them 200 pound class graphics cards that support ray tracing, that support AV1, etc., 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 blah, 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 new hardware features, and so on.
Upscaling, yeah.
So it is a case that...
It's quality of life improvement.
It is a case that, at least from that perspective, sure, it's great from that perspective, but that doesn't mean it's something that we should go out and buy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The 4090 is still the best, but wildly overpriced. It's a Halo card. Arguably,
I
it's
would
supposed to be
contend that
overpriced.
the launch price was, on one hand, it was too low, and on the other hand, it was too high.
What was the launch price again?
$1,600 pounds.
I think that's reasonable.
I think on one hand that's too low because of the percentage performance increase over a 3090 Ti.
Yeah.
The price increase was not sufficient to keep in line with that.
Yeah.
But also on the other hand, I think it was too much because it should have been 1,500 to keep step with the 3090 Ti to make it look like they were going to aggressively price the generation.
I still contend that it was a mistake to drop the Titan class, and it should have just remained being called Titan, because that marked it, because it's a Halo card. It's not supposed to be good value for money. It's for those people who want to pay 100% more for the last 1%.
The problem
That's what Halo means.
The problem was, though, that the Titan cards, at least initially, had workstation drivers and stuff. And they want to not have that. They wanted to have only the GeForce Ready drivers.
Oh, I see. So they could sell
because then they can
Quadros.
sell you an A6000
for £5,000,
which is 76% of a performance sort of thing.
Yeah.
But for £6,500.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, kind of thing. But yeah.
Titan naming was too confusing. Yeah. I mean, I guess 90 does explain more what it is. However, in any case, I think the price on it is still reasonable. You know, the 80 class should always be considered the flagship, in my opinion. And the 90 is the crazy hypercar. You know. So, but yeah, fine. Right. All that being said, how are we looking? So what we've done now is, so we got no improvement, ever so slightly worse. Then Caradog repasted it with Thermal Grizzly. So what have we got on there? Cryonaut?
Yeah, I think so.
So Caradog put Cryonaut on there while we were waffling. And by the looks of things, when I was casually looking over there, it looked like we dropped a few degrees from switching to Cryonaut.
With the remount and going with Cryonaut, it looks like there is an improvement.
However, I would wager that is just the difference of going from terrible thermal paste to flagship thermal paste. I doubt that's actually anything to do with what we've actually done with it.
Yeah.
Because bad thermal paste to some of the best thermal paste, I could fully expect to see a 5 to 10 degrees difference there. Because we expect to see a couple of degrees between something like Arctic MX, which is mid-tier, but from cheap thermal paste, you'll be a couple of degrees worse. So now we've got a couple of degrees to medium, then another couple of degrees to high end. So I think the delidding has done absolutely nothing, and what we've actually done is just drag race different thermal pastes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoop. Cryonaut. What does it say? New.
Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut.
Oh, right.
JD said it wasn't Cryonaut.
Oh, I see.
I was being very sassy.
Oh, okay, I understand now. The Fat Controller laughed. You are wrong. Very good. Yep. Yeah. For a moment, I was like, "What were you showing? Are you showing people for posterity or something?"
No, I was just being sassy.
JD didn't actually believe. Get out of here, JD. No one cares. Anyway. Cool. All right. Fine.
Yeah, we're like 9 degrees cooler.
9 degrees. Maybe. I wonder if we've seen. What do you reckon? Can you get 9 degrees just from going from bad thermal paste to great thermal paste? That's a long way for thermal paste. 5 degrees, I could believe.
I wouldn't expect to be able to get that much.
Yeah, maybe it's a matter of we needed good thermal paste in order to actually see the benefits of the delid. But I don't know if I'm just. I don't know if that's just Cope speaking now.
Perhaps, but
yeah. Well, at any rate, this was a test. So yeah, I guess at the very least, we have successfully delidded CPUs. So the objective of practicing using the delidding tool was successful. And while we don't seem to have really gained much from doing it with these CPUs, at least we know that the next time we're doing extreme overclocking, we have the option of delidding the CPU and knowing that we're not being restricted by the IHS thermal paste. So
yeah,
basically, I'm trying to find some value in what we've just spent the past 3 hours doing.
Yeah, because we've gone from, oh no, okay, it was 82 package max to 75 package max.
Yeah, unpopular opinion, Cryonaut's kind of crap for high temps. Yeah, we're not in the super high temp range here.
And then, yeah.
Yeah, once
83 high core to 75 high core.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's also a case of, yeah, no, I entirely agree. Cryonaut is not good for high temperature ranges. No. It's designed for, you know,
sub-zero,
minus 40 and below. But it was just a case of I knew Cryonaut would be better than anything else I readily had in hand.
At the very least, I wouldn't agree with Cryonaut as a daily driver for a system like this, but for a bench test, it is certainly fit for purpose.
It's certainly good enough for as an indication, yeah.
Yeah. Remember, the package temp isn't reporting hotspots on the CPU. That could be true.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what I was just saying about the core and package temperatures are both lower. So
yeah, I mean,
at the very least, we are not worse.
I was looking at core temp in the bottom left anyway. I assume that core temp is pulling the hottest hotspot.
Well, where there is a thermal sensor, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair enough. Very good.
And unsurprisingly, no meaningful variation in performance.
Yeah. Very well. Okay.
Mixer ratio was locked, so you wouldn't expect to see one, but yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, I think we're done at the moment. One last thing. So we're coming up to the 3-hour marker, so it is a good stopping point. Just throwing it out there. Do we want to turn on the freezer and just see if it gets cold?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's let's quickly rip this off. I don't think we're not going to bolt it down to anything. We're just going to switch it on and just see if the head starts getting cold, just so we can be like, good, the freezer does work. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can actually plan an event with this now. Oh.
Now the Antec is off.
Yes. The Antec clicked again when I unplugged the ATX. It was already switched off at the back. There you are. All right. Hey, Craig Cooper, thank you very much for the 10 Aussie dollars. Oh, yeah, Australian dollary dues. Thank you very much. Your sister just returned from visiting the UK. Greetings from Tasmania. Thank you very much, Craig. Much appreciated. Heck yeah.
Be gone.
Put you down there. I'll put you in my oven.
Hello.
Are we on manual focus? This expression is terrifying. Please stop. Because if we'd been on autofocus, I was just waiting for it to just suddenly like Caradog jump scare you into focus, you know. All right. For those of you who haven't seen this before, this is Caradog's freezer. It is a phase change. It is a single stage phase change CPU cooler. It's a fridge, basically. So the last time we ran this, it had just been refurbished, and it was functioning well. However, due to me trying to run the radiator fan on it lower to see if we could reduce the noise output, the internal refrigerant got too hot and it hydrolocked, resulting in a very scary shutdown. And we haven't turned it on since. However, theoretically, there should be nothing wrong with it and it should work. We just need to switch it on and just verify that it starts.
Yes.
So, are we on the time down now?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've now got a. I'm going to spin it around so people can see inside. There we go. So yeah, we've now got a 3.5 minute timer while it settles, and then it should start up. And what we should see is that the business end of the cooler starts frosting up. Is what we want. So yes, and yeah, hopefully we want to. On the assumption this works again, it just means that we are good to go when it comes to doing another extreme overclocking run.
We need to replace this with SATA at some point.
Yeah.
And also probably replace this with SATA.
Yeah. When we plan another event for that, we'll make sure we've got some connectors. So when we're setting up for that, we can just re-terminate those connectors. Right. JD has questions for you. I'm going to use the bathroom super quick. I will be right back.
No, I haven't, only because you messaged me when I was about to go out. I couldn't remember when you messaged me. I was about to go out, so I didn't do it. And then today I didn't really think about it. So I may, in fact, do it this evening, if I remember. So yes, I will do the thing and the stuff, and I will email the people, and hopefully resolve the things and the stuff. Yes. Absolutely. I mean, yes, SATA power is kind of meh, but it's also a case of it's actually somewhat useful by comparison to Molex for any of the stuff we have. It's like none of the PSUs that I've got sitting around have brain Molex connectors on, so we always have to faff around and find a secondary power source for it. Yes, I believe we're still counting down. What are we counting down? 1 minute 37. Very good. Evaporator temperature 25°C. It is reasonably warm in here. What? Oh, yes. Postal being postal and overclocking old things. Oh dear. Oh dear. Please don't explode more stuff. Especially don't put 2 volts in your V-core. 2 volt V-core. Do not.
1 minute remains.
Yes, that's if a chiller will handle 1,000 watts. No, I think the chiller can do about 300. Because negative temperature coefficient sub thingies are weird for efficiency and so on. It's like with this, as we were saying, when we had it running, it was drawing something like 500 watts, and it could move 200 and something, 300.
Yeah.
And what was their name? Hardware Numbers? Yes. Who built like a 3-stage one. Said that just basically at idle, the system was drawing like 3 kilowatts to keep the head at, you know, negative 200 or whatever it was.
Yeah. It must just be to do with like surface area of the spot you're trying to cool or something.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It just seems strange that that a chiller like this is so inefficient, whereas a like.
That sounds unhappy.
That's just a rattle. Yeah, that's just something slightly loose. Yeah.
Good.
Cool. Let's see. Evaporator temperature is plummeting.
Good.
10 degrees and dropping.
Good. Given we have no cooling, I want to turn it off reasonably quickly.
Yeah. Or just wait for it to get... Actually, should we just wait for it to hit like -10 or something? just so we can see that it's actually just like gonna go sub-zero.
Yeah. Oh, that is hot.
Really?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to?
What is it at?
-2 and dropping.
Cool. Because the power cut.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll start.
Oh, yeah, that's frosting. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it still works. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Good. But yeah, it's just...
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely, it works.
Yes.
But yeah. Oh, that's good.
Good. All right, well, that answers that then, because like we could have done this off stream, but we're just not getting round to it. So at any rate, however, yes, the chiller works. So good. We can plan something with that then. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs arguably modifying at some point. Just with, I understand that, you know, different pressures and things will affect. Different pressures of the gas will affect different peak temperatures and operating powers and things like that. So there is tweaking in there that will possibly be required at some point.
Fair enough. Yeah, good. However, the fact that it actually started chilling is a good sign. It means that we're all good. Yeah, very well. Okay, right. We have run out of things to talk about in that case. I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
It functions.
Yes. Good, right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. So, a bit of a bummer that we didn't actually get a benefit from the delidding. I'm a little bit sad about that. However, that was a very interesting adventure. I think we didn't see anything from this, but I think it was a good practice run. I think the next time we do it, it might be on something where it will matter. And it just means that we've had a little bit of experience in actually delidding. It's not rocket science, but the thing is just like, even though something isn't rocket science, you never really know until you've done it. And I'm a very big believer in, if you haven't done it, then you don't know anything about it, basically. You know, this is the problem with being a keyboard warrior. You can have watched other people do it a million times, but until you've done it yourself, no, you don't know about it. And now we have delidded a CPU, we can say, yes, we have tried that out. We know a thing or two about delidding CPUs now.
Yeah, certainly the thermal paste-based stuff, so yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right. Yes, so thank you for tuning in, everyone. Sai has linked my Twitch channel. However, I will not be streaming tomorrow because I'm going to the beach. I will wear sunscreen this time.
Beach.
On the beach.
Yeah, that too.
I've lost my ability to do my falsetto voice. I don't know if I can still do my Aaron Hansen Zelda voice. It's beautiful, isn't it? You know. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I will probably not be streaming twice. But we'll be back. We'll be back next Saturday with something else.
Beach in the rain.
Beach in the rain. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Do you go to the pool?
I mean, because
I'm going to the beach. There'll be the sea.
Because the weather is likely to be stormy and wet.
It's the British seaside. What else would it be? Well, I say, having gotten burnt to cinders on the Welsh seaside, in the valleys. Went to Newquay.
Goodbye,
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
I've enjoyed this conversation in English. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. We'll be back. We are back next Saturday, aren't we?
Probably.
Yeah, all right. We're probably back next Saturday. Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.